Safe house?
Correct.
Veloska's 2.0.
Yeah. JJ and Lockhart had to go to see Veloska because they were both fucked. And Veloska told Vengetti, who told everybody else. And so everybody showed up to Veloska's and trapped JJ and more so Lockhart
Fucking snitch.
into quote-unquote bonding time. And some plans were kind of laid out for the next couple of days. And then I think the end of it, Legacy took the boys and left. And Vengetti was just going to stay there until Lockhart could take him back to his house. And Kaya was going to cook them something, like put a lasagna in the oven for them, and then rush back to the apartment so that there could be a dinner with her and Marcus and Sprite.
She also seared a steak for JJ.
Huh.
Oh,
I do like that. The bonding time was very good and well earned, and the respite of like the chaos that you experienced, or that Lockhart experienced. Sorry to interrupt, Amy. You were saying.
Oh, that was it. Lakaya just is doing a lot of cooking in a very short time frame.
Legacy was trying to say you didn't have to do it tonight, but you kind of just said, "Yeah, just go ahead and do it tonight." It's like, okay, fucking, I guess so.
Oh no, this is fine. She's living her best life.
Well, good. I'm glad that it's her best life. It is my nightmare. I hate cooking.
See, I get stressed out from cooking. I imagine Kaya likes it. Kaya finds it therapeutic.
God. Incredible. Truly. So, let me make one last quick thing here. Oh. Right. So, you guys were just on your like social recovery stint, and the next quote-unquote big event that was really on the docket to happen was meeting Sprite and introducing Sprite to everyone. So, I assume you're going to bring Marcus.
Yes, because Legacy decided that the best option for both Kaya and Marcus was to divide Sprite's attention and hope that that helps both of them.
For this meet, Sprite would direct you to, rather than the usual spot, Sprite is taking advantage of the situation because she wants to introduce you to the friend, they want to introduce you to the friend that they had made on the Ghost Protocol side.
Oh, are they not meeting up at the apartment?
Guess not. Change of plans.
Guess not.
Yes. This would be part of... It would not be... I imagine it's not uncommon for Sprite to last minute, like... For Sprite to last minute heel turn and say like, oh, okay, you should come here and do this because of reasons, and then just hang up.
Oh, they're that
Like,
kind of asshole.
They're a little scatterbrained, high energy, and kind of keep moving all the time. Like a shark. You just gotta keep swimming.
I gotta ignore the Amy part of my... I gotta ignore myself and not get pissed off at that because I fucking hate when people do that shit. Like, we have plans. Stick to the fucking plan.
but that is the last thing you had heard from Sprite is that they want to introduce you on while you are introducing them to your friends. They want to introduce you in this because they figured that after everything you had told them about, well, everything, they figure that it would probably be good for you to meet their friend, who they have said her name is Calamity, and she is a DJ, which is how they ended up meeting. Sprite would give you directions to a bar slash. Well, it's mostly a bar. They said bar slash club, but it's mostly a bar that just allows people to play music at it. It's just a bar with like a minor area, like a small area that can be dedicated to stage equipment for music and shit. But it is in Adams Ward. It's called On the Fritz. But this bar, like, you've heard about it before, Legacy. It's not like a bad part of town, so to speak. It's just kind of it's like kind of a shitty bar. It doesn't have a very stellar, like, upbeat kind of reputation, because there have been fights there. There have been there have been a few nights where things got a little too out of hand and rowdy. But the people who are regulars and go there frequently swear by it, love it up and down. It's very much another spot for people to congregate, in the same way that the bar at the end of the universe is a really popular place to congregate. It's just this one is more leaning, this one leans more towards the music scene. They actually do have like a venue planner and an event planner who coordinates with local artists. They have, and this is probably the biggest attraction, they actually have like a literal piano, like a real wooden piano.
Yeah.
It was the owner inherited it, and they did not want to sell it, and so they just keep it. But the owner wanted to get big into music and didn't. And like, it's kind of just, you don't know who they are. That's just a pretty commonly known fact for people who are kind of close enough to the area or know the bar. They're like, oh yeah, the music, the owner was like gonna be into music, right? But he just like didn't get picked up. It's kind of just, it's one of those places where there's just word about the town on some of it.
Word of mouth that has been passed around, and you're not quite sure what is true and what is false anymore. You just know what people say all the time.
But it does track that Sprite would want you to like come and check it out, because Sprite being a DJ, they would probably, if anywhere, get noticed at this place, according to the rumors, if the rumors are to be believed.
And Legacy made Sprite come to the bar at the end of the universe, so now Sprite has to return the favor and make Legacy go to a different bar.
Precisely that. But before you guys like make your way out there, it's going to be Kaya, Legacy, Marcus. Is Lockhart going? I assume Lockhart would.
Sir, do you remember how the last session ended?
No, he doesn't, clearly.
Yeah. I mean, I know, but
I've just been like ticking off things that just like.
I mean, personally, like out of character here, I would like to meet this contact, but I don't. If Sprite left it ambiguous, I don't think they're going to Lockhart to know that.
Sprite left it ambiguous as to who was invited, basically.
Yeah.
It's sort of ambiguous, but she does have a desire, or sorry, they do have a desire to meet Lockhart from what Legacy has said.
Mm.
But, oh, sorry, hold on.
It's more of a question of does Lockhart have the mental and physical energy to get out of the
That's other
recliner?
thing.
Just to
That's
refresh
the other
your
thing.
memory, Joe, we ended last session with Lockhart and JJ fucked up a fuck ton, and everyone just slowly like leaving to go and meet up at the apartment to meet with Sprite, and JJ went to bed because fucking tired, and Lockhart was chilling in the recliner, presumably also tired.
Mm-hmm. So
That is up for Iris to decide.
that's basically it. It's like it's been a few hours, Lockhart. You would heal one of your damage threshold. And narratively speaking, Lockhart does heal pretty quickly for all that has happened to her
Yeah.
over the years. She's got a pretty good like natural healing factor.
And she's got the best underground doctor.
True.
And lasagna's healing.
That's true. The natural healing properties of very, very thickly layered cheese and like
Noodles.
noodles. It
Made
like
with
it can't be understated, really.
Made with love. That's the healing factor.
Yep.
I
But
personally, I would like to go. Let's put it that way. So
I will
yes.
say that Lockhart will come unless anyone has an objection to that.
Out of character, no.
No. not out of
Legacy
character.
is gonna have a mouthful to say to Lockhart when Lockhart shows up. It's like fucking, oh god, you know she's gonna fucking flirt with you, right? And this was not what I was planning. I was already like, I was gonna be focused on keeping Sprite from killing Marcus and not flirting with Kaya, because Kaya doesn't fucking know when people flirts with her. And now she's gonna be flirting with you too, and it's just gonna be, oh boy.
See, Kaya, I'm also cool as Amy with Iris joining because, you know, one play character, right? But Kaya will be like, I just told you to rest.
Okay.
I literally
Can I-
just got you to agree to take it easy. Why are you at a fucking bar?
Can I make a suggestion here?
What?
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, there's this funny thing that happened when there was a mass group text of, "Hey, we're meeting here instead."
Oh my god. Shows up separately.
Is
Shows
that
up,
okay?
shows up 15 minutes after everyone sat down.
Like, I imagine there was a message like, "Hey, we're actually meeting here. Sprite's being weird," or some shit like that. I assumed someone would let her know who the meet was with. So it's
I'm-
like, fuck this, I'm going.
I mean, Legacy did talk about Sprite at the apartment.
Yeah.
And like the fact that Sprite was asking to meet people, so Lockhart would feasibly know of Sprite.
Okay. So, Lockhart, you show up. You'll show up slightly behind everybody else, but not super far behind. So yeah, we'll just pick up there unless anyone else has anything they want to do, anything notable they want to have done before meeting at this place.
Oh, sorry, I zoned out for a second. Are we doing the, like, group goes there, meets up, and then, like, Lockhart shows up, like, 10 minutes later? Everyone's like, what the fuck are you doing here?
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay. Okay, cool.
Yeah, so unless anyone has anything noteworthy they want to say, like, oh, cool, before we meet because it's basically the next day that this would happen. The next in that period of time, if anything needs to be accomplished.
Okay,
or
so you're
you
moving
guys
this
want
to the
have
next
done
day.
something. Yeah, so yesterday would be
Okay.
the, like, you guys did the lasagna cooking and the steak and everything, and then the day after, in the evening time, you're like, oh, okay, cool. We'll go and meet Sprite at this fucking random bar / club venue place.
I gotta keep up with the rewrite. So, next day, meeting Sprite at the bar. You said it says On the Fritz is the name?
Mm-hmm. On the Fritz.
Okay, On the Fritz, okay. I like the pun name.
Hell yeah.
I think the only thing Kaya would really need to do would just be fucking... I don't know. She doesn't really have anything she, like, needs to do. She already got Lockhart and JJ sorted. She'll probably send, like, a check-in text with the two of them. Probably. Just, like, updates for her NPCs that, like, yeah, still alive. Checking in. And that's pretty much it.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. Then if there's nothing to do, let me see if I can find some cooler kind of club tunes. It wouldn't be really like the most... It's actually not really like a club.
Get some house music.
Let's do...
Electro Swing. It's got a piano.
That's true, it does have a piano. Let's do something like this. And we'll go back to here.
No, I don't
Okay.
want to update Windows.
So, Lockhart is going to show up later. So, you, Kaya, and Legacy are with Marcus and Larry close at hand. But you all arrive. Since it's still in Adam's ward, you don't have to actually. You don't have to plan like your day around going to another ward, so it's a lot easier to get there. And you have until the evening time. It's not close by. It's like a 30-ish minute in terms of like 30 minutes of driving away, but there's enough public transport because it's inter-ward. You could take like a bus to it and it wouldn't be an issue. Or you could ride your bike to it as like if you wanted to do that, Kaya. But the important thing is that you as you all arrive, let me put you all. You know what? Let's put you. Here. And drag you down over here. Can you see anything?
Nope.
No?
Oh, all the way over on the side. Just scroll way up.
Yes, bottom right corner.
Oh.
And you should be able to move your tokens around
Yes.
as normal.
Yeah.
But yeah, you arrive there, and the weather has been pretty okay. It's been very, very dry and kind of windy with a little bit of a cold chill to it. It seems like they're trying to simulate the onset of winter, so it's kind of pushing into fall at this point, at least like the height of fall. So this is like not jacket weather, but if you wore a jacket, like it's not like jacket required weather, but you can wear a jacket.
Legacy has made it very clear she is walking between Kaya and Marcus. The space heaters on either side.
Mm-hmm.
Marcus is wearing he has worn this jacket on a handful of occasions before. He is wearing that like leather jacket he wore once before during the race, and it's like a old brown beat up leather jacket that it hangs a little loose on him, but he makes it work, I guess. But as you are walking, and the streets in this area aren't very busy. It seems kind of chill at this hour because it's well after quitting time. The traffic for the area has died down. You see, like, people have parked their cars of varying states of modification on them on the back alley side, and there's not really any windows in this building, but there are a few, like, kind of spotty, old... Like, I mean, it's a building that is constructed predominantly of metal, and the windows that you can see are kind of like factory windows. So it seems like this building was originally purposed as maybe storage of some kind, and it was repurposed to be a bar. And the remnants of its function can kind of still be seen, but you easily like walk around the corner, and as you're walking you can see Sprite hanging out near the entrance. They're just kicked back there, like wearing the typical thing that they usually wear, which is like a kind of like a short crop top / sports bra top, and the like bomber jacket over top of that. Very, very like tight, like pseudo leather or leather leggings or pants, and then boots, like heavy, almost like Doc Martens.
Legacy stays between Marcus and Kaya until she spots Sprite, and then she's gone.
I find it very funny. There's a lot of leather here because I imagine Kaya is wearing her leather jacket because she rode her motorcycle here.
Mm-hmm.
So it's her usual getup. Because unless Legacy told her to change into something different, she's just gonna assume what she usually wears is okay.
Yeah, you don't need to dress. This is not like the Black Pyramid. This is more your speed of just, it's a bar. They call it a club. It's just really like a bar.
Yeah. So, yeah, usual shit. A lot of leather jackets here. She, I guess, walks with Marcus now as Legacy zooms forward.
Yeah, it's actually kind of cute because, like, Legacy, you see Sprite, and right around the same time that you see Sprite, they see you, and Sprite, you can all see as they stand on their tiptoes for a second and bounce, and they wave, like, excited to see you, and they're Sprite very obviously eyeing you and Marcus, Kaya, seeing two new people behind, who were walking with Legacy.
Tackle.
Legacy, you run up and just like they give you a hug. You're just like, "Hey, how you been?"
Oh, crazy. Everything's crazy, but you just make it more crazy when you just decide to unilaterally change all the plans. You know that, right?
It's fine. Listen, you're gonna like Cal. She is a blast, and I think she's kind of your speed. I think you could really get behind her. And they, like, you see, Sprite's eyes immediately dart to someone behind you, Legacy, and she's looking right at you, Kaya, and she's like, "Speaking of get behind." What? I just want to say hi.
Flirting.
I just want to say hi.
No, you flirt. Pretty sure half the time that's the same fucking thing for you.
they throw their hands up, like a surrendering gesture, and Marcus walks forward, standing like beside Kaya, but also slightly to this behind Kaya, in the sort of like you have first dibs on meeting the person.
He's slightly he's not hiding behind her. No, not at all.
Yeah, it's just like, oh, yeah, that's
He's
very
just
obvious that you
using-
should meet them first, and I will be here.
He's just using her straight posture and height to his advantage.
Legacy just kind of sidesteps and kind of like gestures an arm. That would be Kaya and Larry, my roommates, and my roommate's child.
Immediately, Sprite like was eyeing you, Kaya, and there was the casual interest, and then sees Larry and immediately gets like bright-eyed and just goes, "Ooh, hi, little guy." And Larry salutes.
Okay, first of all, he's not my kid. Second of all, sup, name's Kaya. You're Sprite, right?
Mm-hmm. That would be me. And she holds out their hand.
She'll take their hand. Firm shake.
Mm-hmm. So it's a firm shake, and there's like the handshake. You try to let go, and Sprite like holds for just a bit too long, and is like, there's almost like a sizing up. Roll a tough check for me.
Oh boy.
And I will let you add your engineering to this.
Okay.
Because I imagine Kaya's a grease monkey, so she's got engineer like wrench calluses on her hands.
Mm-hmm. She doesn't go to the gym, she lifts engine blocks.
Yeah, with Rat.
Mm-hmm. Oh, do I boost this or do I not? It was like, I want Kaya to seem strong.
Why
I'm
not?
not
You
gonna,
have
I'm not
the
gonna
prep.
tell you.
You have the prep.
That's true. Joe, can I boost this?
Yeah, absolutely.
Cool. Yep, I needed that boost.
Huh. You like with that firm, slightly too long handshake. You see Sprite kind of nod approvingly, and you don't get a good sense of how strong Sprite is from this, but you can feel like the Sprite, even through the knuckle gloves that they're wearing. Sprite's kind of packing a lot of strength in a small frame. That's one thing that you can tell for sure. Sprite is built like a more lithe version of Lockhart, it would seem. Maybe not as strong, but deceptively strong.
Oh, shit.
And Larry, like, after you shake hands, Larry like floats up and holds out one of his tiny little manipulators, and Sprite just reaches out with a finger and thumb and pinches it and shakes up and down. It's nice to meet you too. Marcus steps up, and he doesn't really know how to initiate the hello. He's just kind of waiting for Sprite to acknowledge him, and then Sprite pointedly doesn't look at Marcus right away, looks to Legacy, and then looks over to Marcus. He just lets the silence hang there for like an awkward 3 or 4 seconds. Marcus is like, hi, I'm Sprite. It's nice to meet you. Yeah. I'm Marcus. Legacy's told us a lot about you. And she slowly turns her head to Legacy. She has.
Yes, that you're a horror.
She just like grins, and you can't prove it, but you think she has like pointed teeth for a second. Cool. Well, welcome to my private little slice of hell. Or heaven, depending on how you look at it. I think hell's cooler. Come on, I'll show you around. She walks up to the door and does not like push the door in. She puts her foot on it and pushes it, and it is like a saloon door. And it just swings wide open and like smashes against the opposite side wall.
Kaya winces.
Legacy will follow, just kind of grab Marcus's hand as she goes by, and just like little squeeze. There wasn't any biting that happened, so accomplishment.
Marcus, he looks a little confused and concerned, but just nods like, okay, everything's going smooth, right? I didn't like botch the handshake, right?
Legacy just kind of like, is he actually like saying that?
Whispering it.
Legacy just kind of smirks and shakes her head. Oh, trust me, you would know if things go wrong.
Good. And as they walk in, they wave a hand towards the bartender. They're just like, B! I'm taking the back room. I need it for client stuff. And the bartender, who is a very tall, broad-figured, like, dark-skinned man with the most perfectly manicured mustache and goatee combo. He has very curly facial hair, and a very, very close-shaved hairdo. He has a very an unusually refined sort of appearance, wearing a black shirt with a square collar and a white shirt underneath it. His sleeves are rolled up to show like the splayed like cuffs. That's what they're called. The splayed out cuffs, so it looks kind of like a dramatic sleeve, like rolled up sleeve. And he is sitting there mixing a drink. He has a few drinks set to the side, and he just looks up and sees Sprite, and he just goes, "Okay, well, don't make a mess." He reaches down beneath the counter, grabs a key, and will pitch it across the room, to which Sprite takes 2 quick strides forward and catches it. And it's right around this time that Lockhart, you would show up. You, being further down the street by the time everyone has started walking in, but you did see them start to walk in. Just in case you're there.
You're muted on Discord if you're there, Iris.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
There you go.
Usually I mute my mic, not me Discord. I mean, if I saw them, I know where to go. Start heading over there.
Yeah, I figured even if you did see them, Lockhart would not shout.
Yeah, no. Just follow after them.
Yeah. So, as you walk in, I will add... There's a lot of people in the room. Some, none of them faces you recognize. All of them just, a blur of different people with different levels of cybernetics. Some of the cybernetics seem very obvious, some of them more subtle. You can tell right away that B, the letter, B is the man standing behind the bar. He has a cybernetic right hand, and it's like a glossy gunmetal gray color. You can see that there's people with all various types of augments for their legs, some for their head and their eyes. A common trend in this area is getting some type of line work done, like the cyber lines, where it's just like hexagonal cyber lines.
Mm.
But as you walk in, and like Sprite grabs the key, they turn around they start to turn around and they catch someone's eye just amidst all of the people hanging out in the area. And they blink for a second and this... No shit! Cal! Hey, Cal! And then you look over across the room and you can see at that table here, or that table there, there is... There is a woman with a, like, long green mohawk that is longer the further back towards the back side of her head. There are pink highlights in the green. She has headphones that are fucking huge, like big, bulky, reddish-orange headphones. She has a lot of cyberline work, as I had mentioned. Some of the cyberlines go underneath her eyes. It's on the right side of her cheek, there are cyberlines that make a sort of honeycomb hexagonal pattern. Kind of like where, if you were to put highlighter on your face, there's a line of that honeycombing that is on the right side of her face. She has also a lot of tattoo work that incorporates cyberlines into it, where her arm, on her right side arm, has an entire sleeve that looks, if you were to examine it from a distance, it looks kind of like a mishmash of letters and shapes, and you're not sure if it is like one thing or several different things that are all just packed together. But on a closer inspection, you would see that it's a Ouija board that has been wrapped around her arm, and the lines between the different letters and outline of the Ouija board are cyber lines, and they are like a iridescent silver color, so they shimmer in the neon light. And they are wearing basically like denim shorts and a denim top with a cotton undershirt to it, black denim top, with similar boots to what Sprite's wearing, but they are not laced. They're just left hanging on the or hanging at the sides, and this person looks grunge as fuck. Like, when you look at this person, you can literally hear the song Bad Reputation stirring in the back of your head. Let me get the picture of them, because I think you'll like the picture of Calamity.
See, now, no, never mind. I'm not going to speak it into existence.
No, say it.
No.
You owe me!
I'm going to type it and send it later, because in case this happens. But I don't want to alter the plans.
Okay, real talk, Joe. That's a picture I almost sent for Sprite.
Hell yeah! And don't know if this token is visible properly.
I mean, I can see Calamity.
Huh. Maybe I'm just imagining it. Yeah, I think I'm just imagining it. I thought the token was partially translucent for some reason. It was weird.
The only ones that are partially translucent on the page right now for me are the ones up here.
For me, it's also the ones here, and here, and here.
Well, these two. I didn't see those for a second, but the other ones I can see clearly.
Yeah, I don't know why.
I think it
The other ones I can see clearly. I think it's the light.
Yeah, I think it's the light and the position, because, like, I'm just over here.
Oh.
Yeah, now it's full. I can see all of them over there.
Yeah.
Cool. But Sprite waves to this green-haired woman who, like, sitting down. She is leaning back in her chair, and with her boots up on the table, the chair like kind of tilting on that like an angle. And she balances, and she hears her name called. She looks up, and I should correct myself. She does not hear her name called because she is listening to something on her headphones. But she looks past her boot and sees someone walking towards her, and it takes her a second, and she slides the headphones off and hooks them around her neck and just goes, "Oh shit," and rolls out of the chair, like does a side roll and then stands up. Standing up, Legacy, she's maybe got an inch or two on you. She is also quite short.
The gremlins come in small packages. The shorter you are, the more chaos you hold.
But Sprite walks right up to her, and she walks right up to Sprite. Then when they both get together, there's like a brief moment where they pause and they throw out an arm and like clasp each other's arms and then hug, and there's laughing and a little bit of hushed words, and then Sprite turns and gestures with like a presentation style gesture to you all, and Lockhart, you walk in like as you are being presented to someone.
Legacy's just kind of like peeking around Marcus and like does like a little finger wiggle in that direction. Senses somebody behind her, turns around, sees Lockhart, and then there's just like this blink of like, am I actually seeing Lockhart? The fuck are you doing here?
Fucking Kai, who's about to follow after Sprite, stops, heel turn.
I do
Marcus
believe there
turns.
is some sort of meetup here.
Audible facepalm.
Hey, well, it's good that you could join us.
Locke, what the fuck are you doing? Shouldn't you be resting? Didn't we agree, 2 weeks of rest?
It was 3 days. And I am resting. At a bar, aren't I? For relaxation.
For relaxation. Aren't you on meds or some shit? Shouldn't you be not mixing that with alcohol?
Who actually listens to those?
People who don't want to fucking die?
Besides, there's some sort of meeting here, and I need to be a part of it.
Can you lean closer to your mic, please?
Yeah, I'm sorry, I'm struggling.
Sorry.
Man. I'm barely hearing you.
There's a meeting going on here with potential allies. I'd like to be part of it.
Like, she just, like, pinches the bridge of her nose. It was supposed to be just a meeting, primarily so that my oldest friend could meet my boyfriend and my roommate. But, you know what? I could keep Sprite in line with Kaya and Marcus. You know, now I'm gonna make sure Marcus survives this, and the two of you are on your fucking own.
What the fuck's that supposed to mean?
You're on your
What do you mean
own. That's what it
survive?
means.
I'm on.
Survive? It doesn't seem like it'll be that hard, will it?
You just so long as you don't piss them off. No. But it definitely won't be now because guess what? Distraction. And gestures towards Kaya and Lockhart.
Distraction?
I'm highly doubt of keeping us bad as what we experienced yesterday.
Have you ever been flirted with by a horny DJ for an hour straight?
As you say that, you can hear, like, from behind you, Legacy, in, like, almost in stereo, it sounds like Sprite twice saying, like, 2 horny DJs.
And Legacy just, like, snaps her finger, points back towards the voices, and turns around and then looks at Sprite. So, treat for you. I was gonna keep the one that you wanted to flirt with really bad away for a bit, but she just fucking shows up anyway. So, Sprite meet Lockhart, Lockhart meet Sprite. Have a good time, you two.
Sprite immediately, like, locks on to Lockhart, and Calamity presumably starts, or like, while Sprite is looking at Lockhart, Calamity is sizing up Legacy and Marcus, like, in front of her immediately. Lockhart, you've been flirted with before, but it's always been kind of tempered by the fact that most people who have attempted to flirt with you have been mostly male. And in that same regard, a lot of them are shunted or, like, put off by your kind of cold exterior and, like, physical imposing stature and form. Sprite looks at you, and there's no slowdown on, like, that. It's like there's no speed bumps to this person.
Legacy just, like, sees the immediate target lock on Sprite's face and just sidesteps around Marcus to the other side, clear path, turns and looks towards Calamity and waves.
They both, like, take another step forward, and Calamity walks up and will look up to Marcus and slap Marcus once on the arm, not really look at him for the most part, and then look at Legacy and be like, "Hey, so I hear you're a troublemaker, and also in an open relationship, or something that could be considered open? Who told you that? Who told you that?
Legacy,
Did you tell her that?"
just, again, facepalm. No, I didn't tell anybody that. Because we've already had that conversation.
Calamity, like, puts her hands on her hips and just kind of doesn't frown, but looks somewhere between pensive and curious, and just goes, so are you not open? Or, because I feel like you could be convinced, and you would be dragged into it. I'm just pointing to Marcus. And Marcus goes, I don't want to be dragged into anything. And she just pats him on the arm.
Like for that.
Did Lockhart say that out loud?
She muttered it.
Lockhart needs to be worried about her own damn self.
What did she mutter?
Too late for that. Probably Kaya heard it.
Kaya snorts.
And Legacy just, like, eyes Calamity up and down for a second, like, kind of over, like, face palm, face, like, hand dragged down face, and is now, like, covering the lower part of her face. And so all you see is, like, her eyes and her nose. Oh. Like, 6 months ago I would have said fuck yes, but unfortunately I am pretty committed with Marcus right now.
Calamity just, like, shakes her head, and there's very, very firm, like, like a hands up gesture, and just goes, "No, I understand. I respect your boundaries, and I respect his right to think that he wants to be only monogamous. But, you know, it's not that long ago, so whenever you get bored, you can find me here." I feel like I'm being ignored. No, you're being invited.
You are not being ignored. Otherwise, I would have said yes. Just like,
Should we have this conversation in the open? Or at all?
excuse me, sir. Excuse me. Hey. You're the one that was a little too happy that Kanako was flirting with you.
That is not true. That is not. I was not happy about that. Calamity holds up a hand, like holds one finger and just goes, "Who's Kanako? Is she here?"
No, but I will definitely tell her that there is somebody she could probably have some fun with here.
She just gives you an okay sign, not like a respect face. Sprite steps forward and very gently like puts two hands on either side of Kaya's shoulders and just goes, come in, and kind of like tries to guide Kaya more into the room.
Oh wait, sorry. I got distracted by a notification. What's happening with Kaya?
Sprite puts a hand on either side of Kaya's shoulders and is very
Okay.
gently, like not physically moving her, but gently like pushing and guiding her so that Kaya is more inside the room, like inside the bar.
Yeah,
It's like,
sure.
yeah, like come in.
She'll follow.
And then guides you up and into the bar a little bit. Larry like stuck to your side, Kaya, just does not want to get far from you, and is also kind of wowed by all of the different colors of neon that are in this room, all in one close proximity to him. But once you're fully in the room, Sprite like takes a step down and will reach over, and Lockhart, she wants to reach out and grab your arm to like pull you into the room more.
Yeah,
A much
no.
more like insistent gesture.
Yeah, no. Lockhart can move on her own. She'll move out of, like, firstly move out of the reach, but move in.
Okay, so you pull back and don't let her grab you by the arm, but you walk in on your own, and then Sprite just goes, "Ooh, okay, independent, fair. I respect it. For now."
Legacy hears that, turns around where she was like starting to like hide her face into Marcus's side, bemoaning the fact that she just had to have that conversation. Turns around. She can't break your arm, Sprite.
You don't see Sprite's face, but you hear very, very audibly the "row." You can see from looking at Sprite like bites their lower lip and raises her eyebrows.
Just lifts a hand. I give up. Go. We're fucked. We're supposed to have a room, right?
Legacy from behind, there's like a little bit of a mumble. You think you hear Calamity say something, and then you hear in Marcus's voice like, "BDSM sounds cool," and then immediately you hear like, "Wait, what? What? What do you mean what?" He's talking to Calamity, and Calamity is talking back to him in a perfect a perfect impersonation of his voice. And immediately Marcus turns to you and just goes, "We were supposed to have a room, and I don't know what happened to that. I'd like to get in the room because I don't know what is happening, but I did not say that. That was not my voice or my mouth or my words or my beliefs. I don't get why people would like pain. Pain hurts. I don't think pain is a thing that should be in the same..." Why am I having this conversation here? Nobody's even listening to me.
Like, just like, head snapped around at that first comment. Confusion. It's kind of looking between Calamity and Marcus. And there's like
Calamity has a shit-eating grin on her face.
pats Marcus on the arm. Other hand shakes a finger at Calamity. You are fucking trouble.
In a perfect representation of your voice legacy, Calamity opens her mouth and says, "You bet your ass I am."
Legacy doesn't know how to feel with that. Turn around, snatch the back of Sprite's coat, the collar.
Ow, what?
Broom, broom,
What?
broom. Now.
Okay, Mom.
Hey guys, you ever wonder if we've gone too deep in collecting our NPCs?
To be fair, we didn't collect this one.
Joe handed this one to us.
Joe is insisting on this one.
This was one of like 2 NPCs that I had planned.
Yeah.
2. I did not plan that many NPCs. The rest of these are ad hoc. This is the one that I had baked in, and I was like, this will be cool.
Sprite, to be fair, Sprite was also a backstory NPC before we collected NPCs. Sprite predates pretty much all of these NPCs.
Mhm.
So, speaking of Sprite, Sprite walks up to the door, sticks in the key that B had given her, and opens the door. And immediately walks inside and jumps up on top of like a desk of some kind.
I can't see all of this. What is this? Is this a screen? Okay, yes.
Wait, I lost Larry. Where'd he go? There he is. I can only see him.
ADHD Larry has wandered off.
I rounded the corner and just couldn't find him. He's gone. Oh, whoops.
Get off! Get off!
I was the first. Fuck it. Formation.
Inside of this room, it is very sparse. There's a dresser. There's some other sort of storage container or something to that effect. There is a desk. There is a changing screen and a bed with a lamp next to it, a lamp and table. There's not a heck of a lot of sitting room, but like Sprite walks in, immediately hops up on this box, and just gestures and goes, "All right, make yourself at home." And close the door, if you don't mind. Hey, you closed the door. Good work.
A
Legacy
So-
starts to move towards the bed, pauses like mid-stride, looks over her shoulder, sees Lockhart still with the fucking like bandaged arms and shit, and just points at Lockhart, points at the bed.
Fine, standing.
Kaya, the infirm, is not wanting to sit down.
Lock, come on, let's go sit.
Sprite jumps down off the box and then rushes over to Lockhart's side and just goes, "I insist you sit on the bed. I'll sit with you here." And she just starts to like gingerly push towards the bed.
Lockhart, hearing Kaya say she was starting to consider it, gets a little uncomfortable with Sprite.
Ooh, Kaya, probably like gestures for Sprite. It's like, hold off. Her arm's fucked. Try not to touch her, alright?
Oh, yeah, no problem. I won't touch your arm.
Nope. Some sort of glass doll that needs to be taken care of.
Oh, she doesn't want to take care of you like that.
Sprite like nods and points to Legacy and just goes, I am not a doctor. But I do want to take care of you. And she does an eyebrow raise again.
Oh, we'll be fine here, Reverdale.
Sprite
And
shrugs.
she leans against the wall.
Sprite shrugs and then skips around and then around over here and then hops up on the desk.
Free box.
Marcus, awkwardly trying to follow Legacy, will like scramble up on top of the container on this side.
Legacy just sits down, cross-legged, kind of looks over the room. Oh, Sprite, you cause me so many problems. You know that, right?
She leans forward on the desk. It's big enough, barely big enough, for her to be able to do this. But on like with legs sticking off the edge of the desk, their knees and their hands are on the desk, and they are kind of like perched on it that way, pointing towards Lockhart, like head pointing towards Lockhart. And they look over to you, Legacy, and say like, what do you mean? I'm innocent of any and everything you could accuse me of. Mostly.
You can't even say that with a fucking straight face.
They smile.
And Legacy will turn towards Calamity and just kind of like size her up again. And I am told that you are of a particular inclination about the goings on of the station.
Calamity like tilts her head at you and just raises an eyebrow. And you can see for a half second her eyes dart over to Kaya and dart back to you. And there's like a little bit of that. She's doing a posture that is very clearly like practiced or more like theatrical than genuine. She crosses her arms and kind of does like a little bit of a pout to her mouth and just goes, I could be the guy or not. It depends who's asking. And her voice is like some sort of like a modulated version of Kaya's.
Legacy just kind of her eyes dart towards Kaya and then back towards Calamity, and she just kind of shakes her head slightly. I'm assuming if you really are a member of Ghost Protocol, then the person asking is another cell of Ghost Protocol, and she like gestures around the room.
She nods and gestures and says, yeah, welcome to my pad. Sort of my pad. It's at least my stomping ground. And she pauses, and you see her do this motion that is sort of, it looks like she's chewing on something in her mouth, chewing on like a piece of gum or some such nonsense, and then like holds up a finger and just goes, but yeah, I do a thing or two with Ghost Protocol sometimes. And she winks. I heard you were quite the hellion. and ran into your own Ghost Protocol bit, or cell. Also, you don't need to worry about this room. This room is insulated and corrugated, or insulated and reinforced, so no errant signals are going to get out. And more importantly, there's no bugs. So you can speak freely here. This room is truly a safe space.
Legacy's eyes will kind of drift over to Sprite. It's like kind of like that questioning, double checking.
Sprite is cradling her chin on their hands, looking at Lockhart. Then notices you look at her, like, makes eye contact, just gives you a thumbs up. It's safe. I can vouch for it. I've hid here after doing some... Just kind of looks towards the ceiling in like a gesture of remembrance and just goes, I've hid here after some kind of dicey decisions. And they treated me well.
And B outside is aware of all of this, or just letting it happen?
Calamity kind of scrunches her nose a little bit and says, he's aware of it, but only so much. I know B from a friend of a friend, and I've known him for a while now, so I consider him just my friend. And he doesn't want any part of it. But he's helpful, and he can't say no to me. I've helped him out of too many tight spots, at great personal risk to myself. So he lets me operate here. And also DJ here. And hell, sometimes he gives me some really good ideas. Like, well, I don't want to give him too much credit, but Gigadeath was mostly his idea. Mostly, but not all.
And Legacy just kind of nods a little bit. And there's just a slight fraction of relaxing. She kind of leans back on one hand. So, secret operative, DJ, impressionist?
Close, but... She opens her mouth, and you can see that it's a little difficult at first, but she leans back and you can see inside of her mouth, she does not have a uvula. The back half of her mouth, and presumably most of her throat, on the inside is all cybernetic. And she closes her mouth and just says, I wanted to be able to sample anyone's voice without asking permission for my music. And it just was easier to do this. So I had a couple of high-fidelity microphones and listening devices implemented on a couple parts of my body. And she, puts one hand to the side of her mouth and says, I could show you where if you didn't want to... Or I could show you where if you wanted to. If you wanted to know. And I turned a couple of places inside out, have a couple of computers around, and eventually I started collecting samples of people's voices from just day-to-day life. At this point, I kind of forgot what I used to sound like. It's easier to just be somebody else's voice for a little bit, you know? And with the amount that I've heard, it's pretty easy to get the gist of how somebody sounds.
And Legacy just kind of first there's this expression of interest, and then it goes to this kind of very mixed expression for a minute, and then she seems to start thinking. Oh. Does that include if you get samples from other people?
She raises her eyebrows a little bit, and then you see her eyes dart over to Lockhart and then dart back to you, and she smiles and just goes, "Why don't you tell me?"
Where?
She looks over to Lockhart and just shrugs and just goes, "They say imitation is the purest form of flattery."
And Lacey kind of leans forward a little bit, elbows propping on her knees. And pretty damn useful.
You hear Sprite say from beside you, Lockhart, looking at Calamity, just goes, "That's hot. Can you make her sing?" "I could, if I wanted to."
I was just doing that.
She just sticks her tongue out and kind of sticks her tongue out through her teeth.
Sprite, what exactly did you tell her about me? Us?
Sprite looks a little bit more focused at this point and sits up, adjusts herself so she's not as goo-goo eyes at Lockhart, but still very, very close to Lockhart, as close as you can get to Lockhart while sitting on a desk that is to her side. Sprite sits up and says, well, I left out any names and places you mentioned, but I did tell her that the hotel thing was kinda your doing." And Calamity turns back to you and just goes, "And I'm a huge fan."
Oh, wait, they told her that we did the hotel.
We were involved in it, at the least. Very least.
Yeah, I was just like, we didn't do that. Technically. We were involved, yes.
And
I wanted you to be here to tell her yourself, cause I think the story's better coming from the horse's mouth.
And I think I remember, correct me if I am wrong, lore keepers that Legacy told Sprite about the dreamers as well, right?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And Legacy just kind of nods. And about the harder to believe bits?
Sprite kinda doesn't, not flinch, but wavers a little bit and makes a sort of a grimace. And says, "I may have skimmed that part." And Cal looks over and says, "Well, I'm dead curious. I'd love to know more about whatever weird cryptid shit you found. It's not, per se, relevant to my interests immediately, but it's pretty fucking cool sounding."
Oh, here we fucking go.
And Legacy just kind of looks towards Kaya and then is very pointedly looking between Kaya and Lockhart and lifts the hand that only has 3 cybernetic fingers on it. Do we play the recording?
It's the easiest way to get the information across.
Sprite hops off the desk, and like you hear the goof as her boots hit the ground, and she just goes, "I'm gonna get drinks from B."
I'm
And
getting a
as
drink too. If you're playing that.
She holds up a hand and stops you. Like, she takes one step forward and holds up a hand and just goes, "Please, let me. I need to be a gracious host while I'm here." And she turns to Lockhart, and one finger, like, reaches up and under the chin, like, touches you under the chin and just goes, "And what would you have, dear?"
Ugh.
Lockhart, unflinching, just kind of narrows her eyes a bit. Whoa.
There is, like, you can see the desire to give you shit about having water in her eyes, but there is, like, her own sort of, well, yeah, so in a way she is using her own version of threat assessment on you, Lockhart, and there is, like, a very, very like, intense moment of silence. As that moment passes, she reads it and just goes like, "Water it is." And then she winks and will take another step forward. "And what do you want?" And points to Marcus. Anything's good. No, yeah, I'm fine. It's fine. She looks over to Legacy and back to Marcus, just goes, "I'm kidding, dude." Marcus, like, he looks more stressed than he probably needs to be. He is very rigid and uptight in his posture, a little uncomfortable. And he just sighs a little bit, just goes, just any sort of beer is good. I'm not super picky."
Legacy
She
just-
snaps her fingers into, like, a finger guns.
Legacy just sighs and shakes her head. You leave him alone. You have more than enough to entertain yourself. Gestures to the other end of the room.
I'll be nice. I don't want to make your friends upset. Especially when your friends are also... And she looks at Lockhart, and then looks back to you, Legacy, and just goes, "Especially when your friends are also intimidating and strong and silent and well-dressed."
I see Kaya creeping.
Kaya kind of wants to go get a drink. She's not gonna sit and wait. She's like, I'll go help. Carry like 5 drinks. Easier with 4 hands.
Sprite raises an eyebrow and goes, "Well, suit yourself. I always think of it as a challenge, but I won't tell you no." And she picks up her boot, or lifts up her foot, and the handle is a latch, so she just puts the top of her foot down and steps, and with one motion of stepping forward with her foot, like, raised above the waist, the latch gives and the door pushes open. And she'll head over to get drinks. And you can go along too, Kaya.
Cool. Boop. Larry
Calamity, like,
was told
as
to
you...
stay in the room.
Say what?
Do I bring Larry to go get drink? You know what? Nah.
Legacy will take the Larry.
Larry is free to buzz around as he likes.
Larry... No, you know what? Hold on, I'll roll. Larry deserves a chaos roll. Perfect.
Oh god.
Larry, like, watching that whole exchange very silently, being the silent observer, just carefully floats over to Lockhart and stares at you for a second, Lockhart, and just blinks. And then he reaches out and puts one teensy little manipulator underneath your chin.
Legacy just gestures towards Larry, looks over towards Marcus, and that's why I can't take them anywhere.
So she's joking, right? She's not actually like that. Well,
Enthusiastic.
I don't have the word for it. Horny. The word you're looking for is horny. And yes, she is. Calamity speaks up.
Legacy just kind of like solemnly nods. I have been known to party and drink. And even what I do, I am fucking under the table with Sprite. And that's saying something.
Marcus puts his hand on his head, and in this gesture of just like, oh no.
I think when Sprite got out of the hospital, Sprite decided to just like kill the rest of their organs by partying. And the danger comes from the partying and the fistfights in the bar, where I turned to the parkour.
Cal, like, tilts her head and just goes, that would explain why she has such good cardio. I've never seen that girl run a day in her life, but she can go. Oh, sorry. TMI. Just holds her hands up. Marcus, like, blinks for a second, and there's a bit of process thing, and he just goes, can we not? And Cal just shrugs, just goes, sorry, Boy Scout, that's just how it's gonna be. You are in the seediest part of Adam's Lord right now, and it just be that way here, my man.
And Legacy just like, there's a little impish look as she turns towards Marcus. To be fair, Marcus, you do remember where we met.
Marcus immediately turns beet red and just like wipes his forehead as if wiping imaginary sweat off of his brow, and just goes, "Hi, yeah, I do remember that. That wasn't my outfit, by the way. No, I think that's worse to say. Oh God, why would I bring that up?"
I was wondering where that was. I haven't seen it in your closet.
Calamity like puts her hands. It pantomimes putting her hands and elbows on like a desk, and puts her hands on her chin or underneath her chin, and just goes like, I want to know the details because I have not heard this story, and it sounds like I would enjoy it voraciously. Meanwhile, Larry, you push him away, Lockhart, and he floats backwards a little bit, just blinks at you, and then zips up and around and will just sit on the back of your head.
Okay then. And when she was pushing away, she was like pushing him down a bit, you know? So it's like, okay, don't touch me. But not being mean, like, and not being standoffish, like she has been to others.
It's a more like, no, Larry, that's not a thing you need to do.
Yeah.
And Larry, like, there is a moment of processing that passes through him, and then he just decides, like, you know what people haven't gotten mad about? This. And then sits on your head.
Because how can you get mad at that?
At the bar, you get your drinks, and you are on your way back. Did you want to say anything to Sprite while you had Sprite alone, Kaya?
I mean, Kaya's main purpose was so that she could go get a drink, right?
Mm-hmm.
First order was a double of whiskey. While he was making the other drink, she downed that one.
Kaya kicks that one back, And then Sprite watches you do that and just goes, "Shoo, girl, you must have had a fucking bad day yesterday. What happened? Did you get dumped?"
No. I mean, that's never really happened before. It's just stressful. So, I'm gonna need another one to take back to the room.
Wait. You've never been dumped? You've always done the dumping, then. Power move. I respect it. She goes for a high five.
She kind of like raises her hand in like a gesture of like, hold on a second.
She puts her hand back down.
No, I imagine that like Kaya, like, you know when you like raise your hand to like gesture of like palm facing them as like you wave a little bit as if to like hold on a second. Unfortunately, it seems like she's gonna she's receiving the high five.
With the hesitancy in her hand, there's like a hesitation from Sprite where she goes for it, then stops and goes
Like-
for it, and just like pulls their hand down and then just looks at you curiously.
Slight miscommunication there. On that,
Okay. Elaborate.
I've never dumped anyone before.
Oh my god, you're still in your relationship from high school. Like, devastated. Puts both hands on the side of her face.
No. It'd be kind of weird if I had one, to be honest, considering how old I was.
They take a stance, like put both hands on their hips and cock their hip to the side a little bit, and they just look at you, and there's a little squint to their eye. Are you fucking with me right now?
No.
I'm available if you're curious, and there is another room that does have a spare bed. I also don't live far from here, but I mean, you don't have to like do the whole, you know, virgin purity thing. Like, I'm not into that. That's like a weird guy thing.
I'm not really doing a thing. I kind of just followed you out here to, I don't know, get to know you better, considering your legs friends, and also get an extra drink.
Does you say extra
Gestures.
drink? As you say extra drink, your second drink, Kaya, lands, and there is a tall, like a 16-ounce, 20-ounce look like glass with ice water that is forcibly slid towards Sprite, and B just looks at her and just goes, "Cool it," and then does like two fingers, like points to his eyes and then points to her, then points back to his eyes and then points back to her, or points back to them again. And Sprite just like gives him this half-hearted like, "Okay, fine." Okay, so what's your bit then? Also, I want my beer. I'm gonna drink the water. I get it. Haha, very funny. I want my beer.
That's an in-character snort, by the way. This guy just like sips at her second drink. It's like, bit?
Yeah, a bit.
What
A shtick, a
kind
joke.
are you talking?
Bro, what kind are you talking about? I don't know what this is. And they just gesture, like waving a hand up and down at you. You
what
come
do you...
in here looking like some kind of rugged ass engineer ready for a fucking pinup shoot, and you.
This is what I wear
never-
every day?
Well, brag about it, why don't you? Do you just wake up and your hair just looks like that? Like engineer chic? Don't say yes. I know you're gonna say yes. And she puts a hand on her face.
Well, I mean, I do, I don't know, put it in a ponytail when I wake up. So, like,
Like, Sprite is standing there and puts both hands over their face and gently shakes their head and says, "I spend 40 minutes putting this on," and points to her face.
looks nice.
Thank you. I get no attention from your roommate anymore.
Sorry about that.
You are too genuine. Are you seriously, like, they lean in and like raise, like, slightly open one eye, kind of giving you the stink eye a little bit.
Kaya just sits there. Imagine she sat down at this point while she was waiting for the drinks. Just doesn't back down. She doesn't move away or back up or anything. Just like looks back.
What is I don't get it. It's not a bit. You're just
I'm just sitting here talking to you.
yeah, but like you're so earnest. It's weird.
I mean, I wouldn't really consider myself like an earnest person.
This is just a like, you know that pose where someone puts one hand on their elbow and their other hand in the air and just gives you like the really?
I don't know. You're asking questions. And I'm, trying to answer them.
Okay, rewind. What's the
Okay.
thing about never dumping someone or whatever? Because, like, explain the math behind that.
I mean, you assumed that I dumped someone and I didn't, and that's
Okay.
and then you thought that I did the dumping or whatever the fuck it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, kind of can't do that if I never like dated anyone. So that's
just,
where I think
like,
confusion happened. I think you just like I don't know assumed someone like me did all of that. Like
Sprite
could do
just
all that.
blinks, like, the Sprite blinks like they are blinking something out of their eye and shakes her head a little bit and just goes, wait. So you've never dated anyone?
Well, yeah, no.
Yeah,
Kinda,
no, or yeah.
uh, confirming the statement.
Okay.
Mm,
So,
Kind of been a bit busy,
what, like, all your life?
Kinda, yeah. Well, I mean, there were those 2 years after I graduated high school that I kind of, did fuck all, but I was kind of focused on something.
And when you were doing fuck all, did you just have, like, I don't know, well, I mean, you don't seem like the type of person who would have that, but me and Legs and a couple of our friends, we used to call it the hoe phase. Did you have one of those? It doesn't seem like you would.
No. I mean, I kind of
That's what I
focused on. Well, to be fair, I was pretty young after graduated. I kind of focused on my bike before I went into more schooling.
Yeah, but like that's what everybody does when they're young. That's like the thing you do when you're young.
Well,
You have
yeah,
your
but
hoe
like,
phase.
I kind of graduated when I was like really younger than all the other people I was in school with. So like, just never thought about it.
They take a step back and they look up and down at you, Kaya, and now the look and the processing is like it has taken a different tone. Now it is trying to guess and approximate what type of person you are, more so than just like looking at you up to down. You are a complex puzzle to this person who just absolutely cannot fucking understand anything about your life or your decision making.
It's so funny, Kaya's like the most city out of the group too. and Sprite just can't understand it. Sorry, good.
No, just Sprite is just like calculating in their brain and is like, okay, so you graduated early and didn't have any time to date anyone? Or
That's
like,
part of it.
did you ever meet anyone you wanted to date? Or, I don't know, kiss or bang or, God forbid, hold hands with?
I'm pretty sure that, like, no, probably not, considering I'm, like, gestures to herself. Not really the most, I don't know the word for it. No one's ever really taken interest in me at all, and I've always been, focused on work and shit, and school, and then work, and then the bike, and then Larry, and then the other bike, and the third bike, and yeah, always working. Never really, thought about all of that.
Sprite purses their lips and contemplates for a second, and then reaches out and goes to take your hand.
It's just
And it,
okay. They have her hand.
they bring your hand to the front, and then they hold it with both of their hands, and just takes their thumb and just rubs their thumb on the back of your hand and just goes, "Do you want to go on a date? No, not a raunchy date, like a date, where we can like go see a movie and then maybe make out if the movie sucks and get dinner. Do you want to do that with me?" And she like point to themselves.
Kaya kind of just like freezes. Like numbers and equations just like floating in front of her head. And she's
Oh
like
my-
computing all of this. Processing. It's loading. She's buffering.
Sprite, like very plain face, just goes, "Oh my god, you're panicking. You've never been in this situation, have you?
I'm not fucking panicking.
You're so panicking.
No.
I have seen way too many boys panic. I know panic."
Sip drink. I don't know. I mean, I don't really know you all that well.
Well, that's what the date's for. You get to know someone, and then you decide if you want to make out with them, bang them, or I don't know, spend the rest of your life with them. And she says that last bit with a bit more disgust, and then just shakes her head like, "Ugh." But
Like,
look, they let go of your hand. Think about it. Call me. And they reach into their pocket, the chest pocket of their bomber, and pull out a business card. And they hand it to you, and it is a DJ business card, but it has their number on it.
Kyle just look at it. He's like, I guess I'll think about it. I don't know. I mean, it'd be cool to hang out with you and get to know you better. I don't know.
Mm-hmm. Think about it. It'd be cool to hang out with me. We could
But
do stuff together. Like date stuff.
What even? What is a date even?
Don't. Oh my god, you said it. You're gonna ask me what happens on a date. Oh, just okay. I'll teach you at some point. Either doing it myself, and she says that and makes the sign of the cross over herself, and then says, or I will tell you and show you from some movies that I think might explain it.
Sure. I mean, cool. I don't really know what to do here.
Do you want to make
What?
out? Do you want to just kiss once? Have you
What?
kissed someone before?
No. It'd be kind of weird to do that in school, considering that I kind of graduated when I was like, what, 12? 13?
Holy
Kinda weird.
shit! You graduated when you were 12? Are you not? Hold on. Are you like 20?
I'm 28.
Oh, thank God. Okay.
I
You
mean,
graduated college when you were 12?
no,
my
I
God.
graduated high school when I was 12.
When did you graduate college? When you were 16?
No, you see, I took like a 2-year break to build my first bike, and then I started when I was like 15, and then I graduated when I was 23.
Okay, cool. Like, take a break, building a bike seems like a nice like kid project, right?
Well, yeah. Well, I mean, the engine was a fucking mess at first before I could figure it out.
Engine?
Well,
What do you
yeah.
mean engine?
My first motorcycle.
You built a motorcycle? She puts her one hand on her elbow and the other hand over her head, like over her face, and just goes, "Oh my God, you're like so far out of my league."
League? I mean, if you're
That
talking league,
is-
I did play baseball before, if that's
No,
what you're
it's not
talking
a-
about.
Oh my God, it's not a baseball thing. This is like 3 or 4 levels of, like, honestly, just I don't even know how to categorize this. It feels like, I guess it's just 3 or 4 levels of date culture, she says in quotation marks. Okay, but look, just
I mean, if you like
really quick.
bikes, what?
Bikes are very hot, and I dig the rustic leather look you have going on here, and she gestures to the jacket and like the ponytail and helmet. She's like, and rewinding a bit, we'll come back to your weird and incredible life story, but I think they're expecting drinks, and
Oh,
I'm going
shit.
to give you like 60 seconds right now to really think about it. Do you want to kiss me? Because we can just get that out of the way right now, and then you can cross that off your things to do before I die list. I'm a really good kisser, and it doesn't have to be an elaborate kiss, like no tongue or whatever.
Oh my god.
Kind of downs the rest of her drink.
She like tilts her head, like, yes, no.
Gestures
Okay,
for the
fine.
barkeeper that she's gonna need a third one before she goes. And fucking pause real quick.
Mm-hmm.
What the fuck kind of question is this? Offer is this?
Sprite
The
be a
purpose
hoe. That's what type of question this is. Sprite be a hoe.
Z gave me a list of characteristics, and I was like, I have someone. I think I know what this person's like. So let me know if I'm off base. But this is the kind of vibe that I'm getting, is like reckless party girl,
Yeah.
but like.
You're not wrong. I'm just over here on the sidelines of like, Kaya was not the intended target of that. But okay, here we go.
See, the reason why Kaya followed Sprite was so that she could get an extra drink. That was the only reason. And
This-
maybe talk to her. Or talk to
This
them.
will teach all of you. If Legacy is ever like, yeah, this is a really old, long-time friend of mine, expect fucking chaos and nothing less.
But Sprite
This
is
weird-ass friend group that she's currently part of is the most stable and sane friend group she has ever had.
Okay, I need, like, conference here. Of, like, what the
Mhm.
fuck does Kaya do in this situation?
That's up to you. If Kaya ever has been interested in kissing or curious about it, then she has
Here's-
been giving an opportunity.
That's true. She's never had this opportunity before. Like, she's not, like, she's Demi, right?
Mhm.
She's never
So-
really...
it's worth noting that Sprite is offering this as like a completely non-committal, no strings attached, will kiss you right now thing. Like,
coupon.
It is literally like pass by the free kissing booth coupon for just Kaya.
Yeah, I don't know. I need to roll something.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm just like, I don't. She's never had this opportunity before, and even like stated so plainly. Oh, excuse me. High or low?
Me?
Hello.
Low.
Oh boy. That's 5. Okay.
And I will also say, as like further confirmation, as an ace person, I have had in situations like this that it was like, I'm being given
Why
this
not?
opportunity.
Yeah.
I am curious.
That's where I'm thinking. That's why this is even up for debate. Is that like I've never been given this opportunity before, and she is curious. Because like she's never like felt the want or need to, but she's not against it at all. She just
That is
hasn't found someone.
predominantly why Sprite offered, because Sprite's like, I get no ill will from you. Do you just want to know what it's like? Because I can do that for you right now.
Yeah, because Kai just never had this opportunity before. So she'll down like the rest of her drink, and like her cybernetic hand kind of like drums against like the bar for like solid like 20-30 seconds as she like swirls like the last 2 drops in her glass before
hear,
she just
like you see Sprite like watching the contemplation, trying to not intrude on the thought space, like giving Kaya the physical area she needs to feel like, okay, I can think about this and have the time to decide whether or not I'm going to make this decision. And you also get like roll me a clever check, just a flat clever check.
flat clever. Cool.
Mhm. Yeah.
Average.
So you like with an average roll, you hear like you're like swirling the glass. You take the next shot. You're a couple shots deep at this point. Very suddenly, a couple shots deep, and as you are sitting there, like you think you hear her mumble something, but you're not sure if that's just like ambient noise or whatever. But you didn't hear any intelligible words. But she's still standing there, half expectantly.
After like the 30 seconds or so, Kai just like looks down at the drink, stills for a second, turns to Sprite. He's like, I can't really find a reason to say no. So, I mean, chances are probably not gonna get that opportunity again. So I figured, fuck it, why not?
Sprite nods, and they look at the drink in your hand, and then they look back at you and are like, "Are you good on courage juice?"
Uh, 2 doubles for now, yeah.
They hold up a hand, and they're just like, "I'm not gonna bite, but I am going to get close to you."
Cool. I don't really got qualms about, you know.
But, oh, you say that, and she gets really close to you, Kaya, like way up into your space. And you, like, being this close to Sprite, you can see and appreciate all of the very, very fine work that they have done to their makeup, their lipstick and their eyeliner, and just the amount of highlighter and contouring that they do on their face to make their face seem like more petite and like have a sharp and shiny edge to it. You can see that their makeup is also styled to accentuate and kind of bring out the cyber lines that they have, both on their face and their hands. and it is impressive. Like I imagine to Kaya, looking at someone who is very, very skilled at makeup, it is an admiration of the technical prowess and precision that, like, it is a testament to that person's skill at this
Mhm.
particular craft, at this art. And they lean in and, like, kind of tilt their head to the side, and they just hover there for a minute and let you adjust to the space. What is your cool defense? You better believe I'm making you have to survive this in a social context.
Cool defense is 7.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So they lean in and you get like a sudden like scent, like a waft of air as they move close to you, and you smell like a combination of like a type of like floral scent, but masked with like other types of aromas, like more artificial aromas, to kind of give this. It's a little bit of like a. I'm super not good at describing smell. I don't know enough smells to describe the actual thing that I am imagining.
What's
But-
what's the vibe?
It is a very like subtle, like musky vibe. It's slightly more masculine than you would expect from someone who is as petite shaped as they are. They have a somewhat masculine scent to them. But it is a cool, like, airy / floral scent. And they hover in that space, just a few inches from you. And they move in a little closer, and their mouth is just a little bit open. I am going to roll another cool check for you. Your how, on a scale of 1 to 10, how panicked is Kaya going from never having kissed someone to having this person like less than 6 inches from your face?
See, Kaya is not like. She's perfectly fine with like closeness and physical touch. But I imagine someone's never been like this close before.
Mm-hmm.
Unless like she was hugging someone. But I feel like it's more so the intention here is what's tripping her up rather than
Yep.
the actual proximity. On a scale of 1 to 10 of panic, I would say Kaya's at like a solid like 7.5 to 8.
How does this panic manifest in Kaya, you think?
I think her like knee is like jumping, like she's like bouncing her knee on like the foot of the bar stool, like uncontrollable, like not like outrageously, but like it's there. Her foot is just like bouncing against like the footrest of that bar stool that they're on.
Okay. So roll me 2d6. Okay. So with that, you are able to like calm yourself down, process how this is going. You did ask for this. It is a consenting thing, and at this point, Kaya continues to consent to this. She has not objected. And like the last moment of hesitation like evaporates in the sudden instant as Sprite closes the gap and finally kisses Kaya. And it is a mix of like a cool, almost like soft raspberry / fruity taste and texture to her lips. She is a good kisser. Roll me a 2d6 for how good of a kisser Kaya is.
Oh God.
Not
Oh
once. Not once.
Uh,
Mm,
So,
Average.
famous last words?
Roll a 2d6. We're gonna make it.
So you don't really know what you're doing, but it's okay. It's a unique and novel experience, and there is a pleasantness to it. This person is like, there is a soft and like welcoming gentleness to the gesture, and not an unpleasant flavor. And then Sprite backs off, and just as quickly as it happened, it is now over. And Sprite just leans back. You didn't notice this at first, but they had set a hand firmly on your thumping leg to try and stop it. And then Sprite looks down at your leg and then looks back up at you. They're still very close to you.
It's probably still at this point.
And then just gives a very gentle nod. Just goes, good. Good.
Yeah, I think.
Yeah. Thumbs up.
Sure.
Cool. Good. And then they sit all the way up, and they reach over, and the drinks have been sat on the countertop nearby. Sprite reaches over and takes one that is intended for her, and will sip at it, and give you a very, very gentle pat on the cheek, and be like, "You're welcome. And also, think about the date thing, if you can."
Cool. Sure. I mean, I do got a question for you, though.
They tilt their head. Shoot.
So, like, if I don't want to, like, I don't know yet. Still kind of thinking, processing, like, a lot of shit, honestly. But, like, if I don't want to, like, do the whole, like, date thing,
Okay.
could we just, like, hang out? Like,
Shit, yeah.
cool.
And then with that, like, she reaches a hand over and just like gives you a much more like friendly, amicable gesture, like slaps you on the shoulder a little bit, and is just like, okay, we can do that. At the very least, you have my number, so we can plan a hangout, and you
Cool.
can show me on your motorcycle. I want to be ridden on a motor. I don't know how to ride one, and I am scared of them, but I think they're cool and a little hot, so you should take me out on one.
Well, like, they're not
And
really
it
all
doesn't
that.
have to
hot.
be a date. It doesn't have to be a date. It can
Yeah,
be just
sure.
friend motorcycle riding.
Yeah, cool. I mean, I already showed Locke how to, ride one. I drive one. I can show you too. And I mean, they're not really all that hot. I mean, considering all the wind and shit, it's actually pretty cool and cold.
No, hot like. Oh my god. Okay, we need to get together and have like instructional videos. I'll get some materials. I'll get flashcards.
I already know how to drive one though.
No, not for that. For something else. Don't worry about it. I've got some
sure.
flashcards at home. Well, they're not really flashcards. They're more like, well, like magazines, kinda. But it's fine. Don't worry about it.
Cool.
And-
Sure.
Reaches over, grabs 3 drinks in each hand.
I mean, Kaya wants to hold drinks too.
You just take one out of her hand.
Yeah, she'll just takes her third drink to sip at when she gets back to the room. Probably takes like 2 more.
Mm-hmm.
That they're each holding 3. Like, came here to help you carry them. Kind of can't do that if you carry them all.
Oh, yeah, I kind of forgot. I was supremely distracted. I was thinking about trying to ask you, like, for advice on how to get in your friend's pants. Because, dude, oh my god, have you seen her?
I mean, obviously, kind of hang out with her all the time, so like,
Yeah, that is insane. How do you not just stare at her chest?
kind of more focus on, you know, talking to her. I don't really
She
care
looks
about
at
a
you,
jacket.
and there is a look of like, really, and then there's the realization of like, oh right, you're not the typical person. She's just like, oh yeah, no, that, you know what, it makes sense now. In hindsight, I can see why you wouldn't. Well, I don't see why you wouldn't stare at the chest of someone who just, I mean, they're as big as her head, but also, I get it. I get you a little bit more, and maybe I'll get to know you better. And she clinks one of the drinks in her hand against one of the ones in your hand.
She'll clink the drink, and like she kind of tilts her head. Like, I feel like I kind of fell off of the page here, honestly.
Don't worry about it. Just, if you know of anything I could talk to your friend Lockhart about that would get her to talk to me more, just let me know. Just text it to me or something, if you don't mind.
I can try. I mean, I'm not really all that successful in that department myself, so I can't really help you, honestly. So, I'm sorry in advance.
You know what? I think if we work together, one of us will succeed. And that's really what counts.
Hopefully.
They nod, very sagely.
Alright, well. Just looks at the condensation on Marcus's beer, kind of winces a bit. It's like, ugh, yeah, this is the kind of thing that's gotta be drinking cold. So I should probably get this to him.
Yes, we should. And they walk back together with you to the room. Meanwhile, in the room, in the interim like few minutes that it took them to get drinks, was there anything that Legacy you wanted to ask Calamity?
Fucking. I mean, Legacy was just gearing up for the fucking story drop and playing the recording and shit.
Mm-hmm.
So, I guess she would have done that.
Play the recording?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Quick thing.
Yeah.
I have to BRB really quick, but Lockhart would want to see if she has any other augments, because she is concerned about the like where the recording is or whatever. Like,
Oh,
able
like where
to-
she keeps all of her recording stuff?
yeah, but I have to be right back.
Gotcha. Okay. This gives me an opportunity to get some water because I am out of water.
5-minute break.
Absolute noob. What do you mean you don't have 3 water bottles filled?
I have one that I've been refilling over and
Get
over.
more. Join me. I've already converted my husband. He now has 2.
Ooh, I think I have candy.
Oh shit.
What kind of candy?
You're either gonna like it or hate it, depending on what you think about coconut.
It's a fine flavor. I'm not against it.
It's an almond joy?
Yes.
I don't remember what almond joys taste like. I've definitely had them, but it's been years.
like their almond joy and mounds are essentially the same thing, except one has an almond on top. But it's just a hunk of shaved coconut dipped in chocolate with an almond on top.
Nice.
I also should probably take a picture of this when I went to go get soda and sweets, because it's been another day. So I said, you know, I deserve something sweet.
Mhm.
I also found this thing.
Rolo. Hi. I'm getting water. Hold on. I can't see the thing.
I think they are cherry candies inside. I don't know. I haven't opened it yet. But because the back of it says +1 cherry potion candy.
Ooh.
It's a nice little tin at the very least. If I hate the candy, then I have... Oh, that's kind of cute. They're actually shaped like little potion bottles.
Oh, that is cute.
Yo.
Let me see.
Wait, the picture you sent, is that a sticker?
No, it's a tin. It's like a mint tin.
It holds all the little
Oh,
potion
okay.
bottles. That's extra cute.
That is very cute. I was like, the way that the edges make it look like it's a decal. And it was like container shaped. My mind forgot that mint tins were that small, or that they existed. So I was like, it looks
Aw.
like a cookie container, but it's way too small. What is it? It must be a sticker. Oh, that's very cute.
You know, I hate that my brain went here, but where is it? Hold on, let me find it.
Oh no, what type of cursed knowledge are you going to impart on us?
It's not. Is it this? Yeah, hold on. Let me find the image. Like, at first glance, it reminded me of the Plumbus from Rick and Morty.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I know. I hate that my brain went to Rick and Morty. It's fucking giga cringe.
They taste, it's like super, super cherry Smartie.
Oh, that's nice.
Like, this is like, this little, oh my god. Yeah, these little potion bottles pack more of a cherry punch than I've gotten in anything other than hard candy. Honestly, kind of impressive.
I'm returned. Sorry about that.
Hello. Okay, so, you, Lockhart, wanted to know about Cal's recording equipment.
Yeah, I at the last level took the I see your weakness.
Mm-hmm.
I was going to see if they have any hidden augments.
So, read out to me, I see your weakness, because it's been too many weeks, and I don't know what it says anymore.
Oh well, I just took it when we leveled up. So, while not in combat, you interact with a person or machine for a continuous 5 minutes. You can hone in on some key information about that person or machine. Once per person or machine, you may ask the DM one of the following questions. What's their highest stat? What's their lowest stat? Do they have any hidden weapons? And do they have any hidden augments?
Yes, so I will say I will give you the answer to do they have any hidden augments, and I will give you a little bit on what those augments are / do. However, I will require from Lockhart more words to be exchanged between her and Calamity.
That's fair.
So, how do you talk or interact with her?
Let's see. Are you able to turn off your recording equipment?
Say what?
Are you able to turn off your recording equipment?
So Calamity just like looks over to Lockhart and raises an eyebrow and just goes, well, yeah, I can turn it off whenever I need. I typically don't leave it running. Except one, which I use just to sample voices to people I find interesting.
Would you be willing to turn it off? This recording we have is He
Sh-
stating.
She shrugs and nods. Yeah, trust me. If there's one thing I get, it's information security. I have a guy for that sort of thing. And he advises me not to be so frivolous with my recording equipment. And she tilts her head and looks over to Legacy and just goes, it technically runs on Wi-Fi, so it is hackable. It's short range, but I'll shut it off. I've already sampled all of your voices anyway. And you see she looks straight ahead at the wall, and for a brief moment you see a little light in her eye. Like a shimmering, like cyan blue light. And she looks back to Lockhart and just goes, done. But I'm not giving your voice back. I like your voice. It's like smoky and mysterious.
He gives a slight sigh and annoyance, not really wanting to fight that. It's not like she can. How long have you been a part of Ghost Protocol?
She pauses to think and just goes, I've been involved with GP for a couple of years now. We've always been kind of a thorn in the side. And it's been pretty fun. We've only recently started to kick things up a notch.
You said you were the one that was hosting Gigadeath, correct?
Sorry, repeat that?
You were the one that thought up Gigadeath?
More or less. B suggested it, or something like it, and I expanded on it. But part of the design is that we're not hosting it, we're just arranging it. And there's no one person who's involved, it's like a whole group of people. That way we're spreading the responsibility out. Because we don't want any one single person to be singled out by the feds and get, you know, caught up in some shit.
So it's more of a meetup on a station-wide scale. Then.
Huh. Sort of a meetup. It's gonna be a fucking rager. Just imagine it. Like a sea of people and you're just blasting insane music, anti-establishment music. People are gonna go fucking crazy. Which is the point. We want to mess up their oh so perfect Voyager lawn.
Were there any other intentions with the Gigadeath concert?
Not right away, but there's been some rumors through the grapevine and discussions amongst the group that this could be something more. Maybe turn into a full-blown protest, riot, anything to sort of push the envelope a little bit further. We want
Distraction.
it to be memorable. Well, kinda, yeah. A distraction insofar as the Ghost Protocol members can get in and rough up some of the corpse and then get out. At least that's the hope. And Lockhart, you would know that from the way she talks and the way she moves, shuffling to and fro, she has a recording device that she uses for, presumably for voice sampling. It looks like it is in one of her piercings. She has piercings all over her eyebrow, on her lip, on her nose. She has one of those like stud piercings in her, like near her collarbone. I forget what they're called, but it's like one of those like lances that they just go straight in. And you can tell that she has a very subtle hidden microphone that is wired across on both sides of her collarbone, like around her, I think it's the clavicle.
Yeah, clavicle's your collarbone.
Yeah. And with the way that her like shirt and like the denim sleeveless jacket she's wearing is hanging, you can even see them. You can't tell that they're a microphone just simply by visual contact alone. You're kind of putting together like somewhere that would be easy to pick up voices, but also be unexposed and not obvious.
Yeah.
And not near her own voice, which is where she is going to make noise from a recording and presumably create feedback. So just underneath the chin, like towards the clavicle area, makes sense. You can also tell that her throat, her vocal cords, all of her esophagus is entirely synthetic. It is all a very unique, not one of a kind, but unique and heavily modified cybernetic augment. And that augment itself had to be I can't remember the word for it. Changed. Modified, yeah. It was modified so that it could do the voice imitation thing a lot easier.
The most base model would probably be what Legacy has, because all her throat and voice box and everything are cybernetic.
Mm-hmm. You could probably assume that her experience as a DJ, and specifically in the realm of like sound mixing and modifying, probably helped a lot with creating some of the design and software and inner workings of that augment.
So it's homemade, essentially.
It's home modified. It's like you buy the thing off the shelf and then you do your own custom work to it. You jailbreak your phone and make it do what you want.
Make it into a PSP.
Yeah, yeah. And other than that, she has a handful of minor augments that you could suss out that are things like organ replacements or any sort of like minor. You could tell like a lot of the cyber lines are technically augments, but they don't have any greater utility purpose. They are just stylistic. But I will say that right around that time, you get through that questioning. Kaya and Sprite come back through the door. Sprite coming through the door, doing the same thing she did before, like putting her boot up onto the latch and kicking it down and pushing forward with the door. And like as they walk in, they hold up they have the glass they got for themselves in one hand, and 2 or 3 glasses in the, or not glasses, bottles and cans in the other, and they're like, fruits of the earth. we have returned. You're all welcome. They bow and they hand you, Lockhart, water. A bottle of water.
Is it sealed?
It is sealed.
Sprite's not that bad.
Lockhart's a paranoid ass bitch, huh?
It is sealed, and when you take it from her, like, there's they look up and very quickly just sneak a very like a very cutesy like wink and a kissy face, and then start skipping off to Marcus to give him his drink. And Legacy, you see that as she takes a step closer, she takes the drink that she has for Marcus, just some generic type of IPA or something, because Marcus is sitting like crisscross on top of this box. She takes it and doesn't put it in his hand, but like sticks it into his legs in his like crisscross and shoves it like towards his crotch and just puts it there and then lets go. And he's like, oh, this is damp. He's like, "They'll be okay." Pats him on the knee. And for you, my love. She hands you a drink, Legacy.
Legacy will take her drink and immediately kind of snatch it at Sprite's arm. Kind of
What?
drag them a little bit closer, hook an arm around their shoulders. Put her head close to Sprite's. You took it off a long time.
Yeah, I was trying to get tips for how to make out with your friend. And like tilts her head towards Lockhart. And that one has no good advice.
I could have
Did
told
you
you
know
that
she
shit.
doesn't? What?
There's a
Don't do
reason I
what?
told you not to flirt with the roommate.
Well, you didn't tell me that she was like an inexperienced virgin.
You. Oh my god. And like, Legacy will pull back a little bit, still like holding Sprite there, and like examine the Sprite. And the eyes narrow.
Roll me 2d6. Roll me a clever check.
Clever
Legacy.
check.
Uh-huh. You
Frickin'
don't have to
might as
boost
well.
it, but
I'm gonna
I think it would
boost
be
it.
funnier if you did boost it.
I'm gonna boost it because it's fucking. I should have a bonus to this because I know this bitch.
Mm-hmm. So I will say that you get that close to her head and you are like give her a look and examine her face. Her lipstick is smudged. She never smudges her lipstick.
Legacy just like squints. Will reach out and like fix the lipstick a little bit. You're a hoe. You're still a hoe.
She snorts and like sticks her tongue between her teeth and just goes like, yeah.
Just
And then
spins
does,
her
like,
around and like kicks her. Oh.
Marcus watching that whole thing and is just like, what just happened? Did something happen?
She's a hoe.
He blinks and watches as Sprite skips away. As Sprite passes Kaya, they reach out and like very daintily trace a finger along Kaya's shoulder blades.
Disgusted noise.
And then
Yeah.
we'll
Cat doesn't really react much.
skips all the way back down and around and will prop up next to Lockhart and not sitting on the desk, but lean up against it like in this way too cool, like, yeah, look at me, lean up against this wall and like nobody cares. I'm just the cool person hanging out on their lonesome. It's partially like a overly exaggerated version of Lockhart's pose.
Yeah, I was gonna say. So Lockhart's normal, huh?
Yes,
in a mocking gesture?
a cartoonish caricature of it.
Yeah.
Legacy.
Larry immediately flies down and does the pose against the bookshelf or the upper part
My
of
God.
the desk.
Kaya fucking sees that, sees Larry zoom over to Mimic, and just snorts into her drink as she sips.
Calamity points at Larry and like it very proudly states just like, that kid is one smart kid. You raise him right. And sips a drink.
Kaya just shrugs before she like pauses, like, what the fuck? Did Lex tell you to say that shit? I'm not raising him.
I don't tell anybody to do nothing. They just immediately know.
How do they even what do they fucking know?
That he is your child.
Calamity like shrugs and just goes, I didn't know that it was like, I don't know, is that a new parenting style? I figure most parents don't curse in front of their children.
Well, he's not my kid.
Kaya also downloaded an entire dictionary into him, so I don't even know all the words that he knows.
I know many words.
Yeah, of course you do.
And,
Lots of fucking words.
we should all be proud. Fucking was his first word.
Fucking
I don't-
words.
Look, I don't think it was his first word.
Oh, it was his first word.
No, I think his first word was like probably like, his name.
Sprite turns around and holds a fist out to Larry, like for a fist bump, and just goes, kick ass. And Larry just grabs her fist with both of his little manipulators. And Sprite gives him a look, just goes, no, but close, kinda. Here, you do one of these, and pantomimes punching, and then doing like your hand exploding and your fingers waving as you break up the fist. But she does it. They do it with themselves. They punch their own fist, and then holds their fist out to Larry again, and Larry just goes, oh, and then clinks his two manipulators together and then pulls them apart. You know what? I'm gonna count it.
You gotta like do the motion, like actually do it for him to learn it.
I'll leave the parenting up to you. You can teach
It's
him
not-
whatever you want.
Parenting.
Stop arguing with it. Everybody knows it immediately. You will have to accept it one day. Business.
Fucking this, whatever.
So
Sip.
you have at this point already showed Calamity and Sprite the recording.
I guess so. I didn't know if the recording
Right.
would have happened while they were out of the room since Lockhart had to talk.
Gotcha.
Or
We could say that you play the recording now.
yeah, so Legacy would
Yeah.
just kind of like before she plays the recording, 'cause she's I think played it for Sprite already.
Correct.
Would look towards Calamity and just kind of tilt her head. Ready to go down the rabbit hole?
Calamity just nods, and there is an eager, excited grin on her face. She's just like, I'm so fucking ready, dude. I want to be blown away. Show me the cryptids, show me the whatever the fuck corpo dirt. I want to see it.
And Legacy just kind of sighs and nods. Well, we'll start a little in the middle first, so that you know just how deep you're about to go, and then I'll explain everything. So she'll play the recording first, and then explain up and through the highway thing.
Mm-hmm.
And just lay it out all out on the table with the others there to correct or add their side of things where Sprite did not have that benefit before.
So, going through all of this, you have fully captured the attention of both Calamity and Sprite. Sprite having kind of a second chance to revisit all of the drama and process it a second time. Calamity listening to it and just her face is very expressive. She goes from like moments of disgust and rage to moments of just like curiosity and intrigue, and is eating up every second of it. And by the time you get through regaling her with all of what happened and the recording itself, there like Sprite is silent, kind of waiting to see what Calamity thinks and sipping her drink. And Calamity nods and just goes, "Okay. I think we're on the same page. 'Cause that is supremely fucked. And it definitely needs some fucking payback. It warrants payback."
And Legacy at this point is just kind of like, when she was done telling the stories, has leaned back on her, like, still cross-legged but leaned back on her hands and just kind of watching. It's just, there's a slow nod. Payback. And then some, if we're gonna be honest here. I think all of us in this room had some idea that Tetsuo and the corpse were monsters and fucked and dark in ways that we had no idea about, but I don't think any of us knew just how deep that went. And now, she just kind of like vaguely gestures with one hand.
Okay. So, there's some fucking monster stuff going on underneath all of this, and it's all tied back into the corpos, and that's like only a third of the juiciest shit that's gone on. But that doesn't really, there's so much there that I don't even know how to process it all. I thought we were moving some big shit around. Really, we're just small time. I mean, small time for, blowing up convoys and crafting some coordinated, like, cyber attacks and other sort of standard guerrilla shit. But, like, we need to up our game. And we've already upped our game a lot. But we do know the other members of Ghost Protocol. So...
Just your cell, or all of them?
Just our cell. And our cell is small, but efficient. And it's been pretty easy to kind of keep things low. we coordinate through secure channels. We have our cyber guy do our security. And we'll coordinate a meet, and then we'll coordinate a strike. And that's usually how we operate. A lot of our stuff takes place in Turing Ward. That's probably why you don't see much of it on the news. Turing Ward's the fucking Wild West on this station, man.
And Legacy
What
just
do you
kind
know
of
about Turing?
yeah, Legacy smiles and will look very pointedly at Lockhart.
What do we know about Turing? Well, just about everything important. I could tell you the gang territories. I could tell you the Corpo territories. I could tell you where I see a lot of people dumping bodies, though I couldn't tell you whose bodies they dump. We don't get that close. I know the general security levels for most of the places there, at least from the outside. We do a lot of reconnaissance there. Lately, Tetsuo's been stepping it up a lot, and that's made us more interested in Tetsuo by a wide margin.
Recently.
Past couple weeks.
So I asked it in chat, but we did explain the highway thing, right?
Yep. Essentially, Legacy explained everything up and through the highway stuff. She's not
Okay.
bringing up the house because that's a whole different ballgame of fuck shit.
Did you say that Joseph Diego died, or that you killed Joseph Diego, or neither? I assume neither.
No, she would have said that Joseph Diego died for sure. I
Mm-hmm.
don't know if she would have said that she killed him.
Mm-hmm.
She might have told Sprite that, but I don't know that she would have said those words in this retelling for Calamity.
Okay. Good to know. Good to know.
Because by the time she got to that point of the story, telling Sprite, and because it was Sprite and it was just the two of them, and they were several drinks in.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So you retelling that story and like elaborating that Joseph Diego died during that incident, which was more or less orchestrated by you, like you guys. Calamity kind of leans back into this paneling a little bit, not putting a lot of weight on it, just the posture of leaning back into it. Sips at her drink and says, "Yeah, so if I had to guess, I would wager that Gigadeath is going to be, well, I hope that Gigadeath is going to be on the same order of magnitude as your highway incident. I want it to be a fucking rager." And it seemed like it's going well. Right now we have the other guys in the cell all spreading the word and seeing if they can find some ins and outs or exits and entrances to some of the nearby corps in the Voyager Square area. Also seeing if there's any disgruntled employees who wouldn't mind if some doors were left unlocked for that very reason.
Legacy kind of slowly nods. I may have an in if we can gather the cash to contract out somebody that would be willing to make things a lot easier. Another hacker. That knows quite a lot about the security of Voyager. But, though I do agree with the, aiming to get as much chaos as possible across as many companies as possible, and she's kind of like gestures around the room, are really focused on Tetsuo. And Honestly, the harder we can hit them, the better chances of what we need out of either their HQ or their labs that we have.
Calamity nods. Okay. Focusing on the HQ for Tetsuo. That seems fair. We're
Oh.
not solely dedicated to Tetsuo. But maybe we could be convinced to spend a little bit of our extra energy roughing them up a little bit. And looks over to Sprite. Sprite still kind of leaning in the Lockhart way, but a lot less like jokingly now, and more like actually just leaning on the desk. Nods and like points towards Legacy and says, "Yeah, I mean, we have a personal stake in Tetsuo, so there's more of a reason for us to push back against them. I mean, that's why I joined up with you guys in the first place." And Cal holds a hand and goes, "I respect the hustle and the vendetta. There's a lot of corps, though, and they all have red hands in this, somewhere in there."
To
Oh,
be fair, if you're fucking with Tetsuo, we'll be messing with a whole bunch of other corporations, considering they've acquired a lot of them.
I can tell you that we've gotten numerous confirmations that. What's the one that Cassidy was against?
Hergatz Liao.
Yeah. You got more than a few confirmations and connections of Hergetz Liao causing problems.
The pharmaceutical company? No shit.
You want to know where they got all of those chemicals at the last war?
Calamity blinks, and you could see like the puzzle pieces starting to come together, and Calamity's mind just nods, and then gets this like almost twisted, like a very dark smile on her face. Just goes, "Oh, I fucking see the whole picture now. These motherfuckers are all in bed with each other like some kind of fucked up incestuous family." Oh, I guess that makes sense. What do you expect? You get rich enough, you get weird, freaky tastes, and it just ain't the same having sex with a normal stranger.
Oh my god.
What? I'm not rich. I'm a normal,
Wasn't
highly sexual
Legacy,
individual.
that was Z.
Fair. She says that and then takes a sip of her drink. So, I'll tell you what my plan was before Gigadeath. We were going to do some more reconnaissance. Just kind of see how things played out. I'm still reaching out to local music people. I'm also reaching out to local, not online militant groups. Basically going by word of mouth, like a friend of a friend of a friend. It's dangerous to be online. You know that. I'm sure you all know that. And I know in my gut that there's a lot of people who are probably just as pissed off as the rest of us, but they're too scared to do anything about it online, or to try to see if anyone else feels the same way, because they're not savvy. And she taps against the side of her head. And Tetsuo has a lot of money to throw at their stupid web defense systems and internet security and tracking algorithms and all that shit. So it wouldn't surprise me if they had somebody watching something about an algorithm so that they could keep tabs on any sort of dissident thought. But I know that some of the people within Ghost Protocol, at least our cell of Ghost Protocol, have some friends who were semi-interested. And I'm trying to get a hold of those people without reaching out online to all of them. and to get a hold of their friends, and their friends' friends, and anyone who's sympathetic. Getting a pretty long guest list, by the way.
Legacy just... There's a grin on her face. Just kind of gestures towards Calamity. Oh, I was telling all these people about that. I was like, what, a week ago? You guys didn't believe me.
What did I didn't believe?
Fucking when we were at the bar and I was talking about getting everybody riled up.
Oh. I mean, I didn't think it was impossible. I just thought it'd be, difficult.
Well, you're not wrong. It is pretty difficult. You can't go as fast as an instant message. But... I don't know. I kind of like it. It's a little bit more personable. I think people are a sucker for a pretty face, and she gestures to her own face.
Well, I can't tell you exactly what we need or how we're planning on getting it, partially because we don't have the plans yet. But we, and she kind of gestures around the room, do have 2 targets, both of which I think you are uniquely qualified to help us with. One is the HQ, and the other, and she looks over towards Lockhart and then back towards Calamity, is Tetsuo's lab in Turing.
Okay. So you want to get inside their test lab. Well, it'll come as no surprise. Their test lab is going to be pretty fucking hard to get into without a fight. But not impossible. Especially if you want to try to layer it on top of Gigadeath.
Well, I mean, that's the thing about it. Wouldn't Gigadeath, be a good chance to get into the HQ? It's kind of like,
Oh, for sure.
do we go for the, the lab or the HQ where the distraction is? Unfortunately, there's only, one Gigadeath.
Well, true. We're kind of piling all our eggs into one basket a little bit. And that's sort of the point. I'm not sure what's in that lab. It could be really cool.
We have a few guesses, and
We have some suspicions.
some
None of them good.
Definitely none of them good. Some of them much more present problem than others, and a better half of them, I believe, Lockhart over there wants to blow up.
Lockhart, you see,
She nods.
you nod, and out of the corner of your eye, you see that Sprite, is looking at you because everyone in the room has directed their attention to you to see your response. But Sprite, as she looks at you, she cups a hand around their mouth, and they don't say it, but they mouth the word "hot" in a very exaggerated way.
Oh my god.
Calamity also will smile and very cocky grin and be like, well, if you're looking to blow some shit up, we can definitely help you with that. If there's one thing we got connections for with our Ghost Protocol buddies, it's some dangerous shit. Want to see?
We've experienced it before.
You've experienced it? Is that what you said?
Yeah. Referring to JJ, essentially.
Oh, yeah.
And the truck.
Yeah. We've been in contact with another section of Ghost Protocol.
No shit. I heard that there were a lot of Ghost Protocol cells on the station, and they were all kind of kept separate from each other to keep themselves anonymous and spread out. I didn't know that there were others here who had connections to some dealers. Who's the dealer? Wait. Did your guy say who the dealer was?
Huh?
This was the person we were supposed to meet, right?
JJ did say Cal, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Yes.
Yeah. If I remember correctly, As a
He spoke with
contact.
you.
sorry.
Yes, I believe he spoke with you.
No shit. You're talking about JJ. The big guy, real thick beard.
Not.
Sounds kind of like this.
Jill, you made this NPC purely to do shit like that, and I love it so much.
Exactly. It is like a very uncanny, weird vibe to see a small green-haired punk girl with like the voice of a deep, broad,
Middle-aged man.
middle-aged man. Yeah.
Oh fuck. Kind of fucking head snaps. It's like, holy shit.
Sprite snorts and just goes, I love when she does man voice. It's so weird.
You were the one that blew up the truck on the highway, weren't you?
Cal like turns her head and like gives you another evil grin, and you swear that you get the same like glint that you saw from Sprite, where you're just like you could swear that her teeth were pointed, and she just goes, "Yeah, we were."
And I assume you're the one that gave JJ this information about the return.
You kind of drifted off at the back half of your sentence.
The abandoned building in Turing.
That would be us. Scouted it out ourselves. JJ will charge you for it because he's a weird stickler about the rules. Doesn't matter. We just make shit up as we go. He's an info broker, and she says that with quotation marks.
Oh, you'll be pleased to know that building has murder bots inside.
No shit. What kind of murder bots? We talking like K4 units or whatever the fuck they're called?
I think so.
Yes, that is exactly what they're called.
Lacey just nods and then points towards Lockhart's fucking sling.
Wait,
Inside, but yes.
you were attacked by one?
More
Multiple.
than just one.
And you lived with all your limbs attached?
Yes, we did.
Calamity, like, her eyebrows go about as high as they can get, and she just whistles like, and Sprite like takes a long sip of her drink and just goes, holy hell. So are you you are single, right?
We don't see that has dispensation.
Marcus puts a hand over his face and just goes, can we focus back on the like plotting thing?
And Legacy just leans forward a little again and just kind of tilts her head. Let's just say that the little group that we have managed to assemble has about the best that you can hope for. Of everything. Sheer brute force, and she like points towards Lockhart. Cybernetics, and she'll jerk a thumb back towards Marcus.
He waves.
Motorcycle, speed demon, and mechanic, engineer, motions towards Kaya, hacker, scientist, info broker.
Calamity smiles with her tongue between her teeth and just goes, "We got ourselves a fucking army." So, you're an inventor. She turns to Kaya and just goes, "Do you want to make some really dangerous shit? Slap it on your motorcycle? Make it like a fucking tricked out Batmobile type thing?"
Fuck, not this shit again. Look, last time I put some experimental shit on my bike, last bike I made, it kind of blew the fuck up. I
Yeah,
mean,
but if you make it, you'll know how to detach it rather than whatever the fuck Minghetti gave you.
yeah, I'll put a fucking off button on it. I mean, it did get me fast enough to go, on the hyperlane, but like, it wasn't safe at all.
On
But
the hyperlane? What the fuck are you talking about?
What the fuck are you talking about?
the race that the Dreamer popped out in, was that a street race over in Seashore Ward? Like,
I thought it was called the hyperlane. Like,
nah. It was on the hyperlane.
Well, yeah, and I won. My prize was, bike blowing up in front of a fucking monster.
Well, again, the little speed thing actually helped because it just made the bike blow up bigger and make the Dreamer fuck off.
Calamity looks like starstruck and is like, "Holy fuck, dude, we gotta really step up our game. Y'all are showing us up, and I won't stand for it." And she marches over to Marcus and just goes, "Get out of the way, Boy Scout." It's like, what? Why? It's just she's like, up, up, up. She just starts making like up gestures with her arms. And he's like, okay. And she steps in and will reach over to the side of this container, and like where there's like a thin crack between where it stops and the wall starts, and she reaches her hand around there and starts like fiddling for something, and you hear Legacy, because you are physically the closest, you hear what sounds like a keypad, and then you see her like stick her tongue out and like her eyes kind of glancing towards the ceiling, remembering something, and then with one final like boop, the container, a middle section of it, as if it were a false top, like pops up. Imagine like a big chest that opens like a treasure chest, but instead of opening like a treasure chest, a small like 2 foot by 1 foot square pops up on the lid. A hidden compartment embedded in the top part of the chest. And it pops open, and inside it you can see that there is a row of what look like partially constructed devices of some kind. And you're not an expert on this sort of thing, Legacy, but they look like IEDs. They look like bombs, or at least partially constructed bombs.
Legacy is like shifted around, is like using Marcus's shoulder to like balance herself as she like strains to look at it a little bit better. And she gets this like little whistle, and she shakes her head. Oh, now I know why JJ called you to blow up the truck.
She turns and smiles, and will reach in and pull one out, and then take a step towards Marcus and plop it in his hand way harder than you think should be necessary, to which he just flinches. He's like, ah. And she pats him on the arm and gives him a kiss on the cheek and just goes, "That's for you to look at, hon." And she walks over here and has a second one in an offhand and will hand it to you, Legacy. Check it out. Pretty simple, rudimentary. And she'll walk back over and grab a few more.
IUDs for everyone. IUDs for everyone. Big moves.
With all of what you've told her, like she's pretty thoroughly convinced, like, oh, okay, cool. We're all way too deep in this. I totally trust you. plus Sprite vouched for you. We're in this like to a ludicrous degree. And she'll hand the devices, one to Lockhart and then one to Kaya. Kaya,
God.
you know immediately just looking at it, it's inert. It's not a live device.
Okay.
You can tell just by the wiring, like this is not liable to explode. But looking at it, you can see that there is room to attach elements to it, where you, like, you're doing that thing where you look at something and your engineer brain just kicks into fourth gear and starts doing stuff, like, in theory, where you can see some cables are loose here, and there is a section that is missing there, and you're like, oh, okay, that's probably where the payload goes. This is probably where you put some sort of triggering device. Oh, you could put a triggering device on here to make it blow up at the push of a button, or you could put a timer on it, or you could put something else here, or you could probably connect it to some other type of structure, and you're just like immediately thinking, and then you have to stop yourself and realize, like, whoa.
It's like Build-A-Bear, but it's Build-A-Bomb.
Yeah, like you are like way too uncannily good at just like theory crafting how an explosive should work.
She's probably muttering this too, like as she's like turning it in her hands.
And it's uncanny because like you've never really stopped to completely think about it, but looking at this device and understanding just, oh yeah, payload here, there's only really like one step past electronic fucking, oh my god, electronics engineering. What is the word I'm looking for?
Electrical?
Electrical engineering. Yeah, like there's only one very like not that long step from electrical engineering to improvised explosive devices.
Gaia has just realized as she's looking at this bomb, like, oh yeah, this goes here, this goes there, this could make it do this. It's like, oh, I didn't realize I could make bombs.
Yeah, that all clicks for you. It is like you could make this. It is startlingly easy for this construction to just, and you have stuff like this sitting all over your room. The only thing it's lacking is a payload.
Gaia was like turning it in her hands, like muttering to herself, like the schematics of this and what she could do. Kind of freezes as she like thinks about it, stops. Fucking freeze frame. She like thinks back to her room, and all of the items around it kind of highlight. Looks back at the fucking ID in her hands, like, well, shit. That's new. Well, not new, but okay, cool. Didn't realize that. I don't know how, but
Calamity like crosses her arms in this very self-assured manner and just goes, I made these myself. I had enough spare parts laying around, and I knew a guy who knew a guy, so I bought some, well, we'll call them oomph packages for the fireworks part of it. And boop, there you have it. A lightweight, very small, very portable form factor.
wait, you made these yourself?
Uh-huh. Just me and my old soldering iron. I keep it in the back room. Don't tell B. He'll get mad.
Okay. Sure. What did you use for, like, I can, like, see the parts here, right? But, like,
Sprite shrugs and just goes, oh my god, you're gonna make her talk nerd. And, like, immediately Cal will just go into a whirlwind of just like, okay, so I got these wires and these cables. They're just bargain brand copper wiring, insulated, whatever.
You
But
get it from the Smiths
these
on
parts,
second?
no, I actually have mine from this place. Like she just starts going into it and talking about all of these places. Some of the places she buys from are places you know about, and like for you, there's not really a difference. For her, it seems like there's something nebulous about like the quality or something. Like I prefer this shop because they have really high quality like metal shell casings for like just generic shapes, and you can buy a lot of stuff there without anyone giving you weird looks. But you know a lot about what she's talking about, and it is bafflingly, again, it is baffling to you again how you've been to all these places, bought most of all of these things, and just never thought about how they could be constructed to just manufacture an explosive. It's scary simple how like separate, how close they are, despite being like in a ethical sense so far apart.
It's just coincidentally all of the materials and equipment needed for constructing drones and motorcycles in that area is where bomb making is, apparently.
Yep. She outsources the actual explosive ordnance portion of it and puts it all together herself.
So, like, how big are these things?
They are slightly smaller than a football.
Okay, because I imagine, like, while they're talking, the Kaya is just, like, turning it in her hand, like, passing it back and forth, as she, like, gets a good look at it.
It is effectively like a pipe bomb, by the look of it.
Okay. Yeah, Kaya will listen to the nerd. She has this revelation. She's like, oh. Huh. I didn't know I could do that. I imagine Legacy would see the gears turning in Kaya's head.
Yeah, Legacy was like examining the bomb for a second, but like she has just enough mechanical knowledge to kind of appreciate it, but then at the same time, she doesn't trust herself quite enough to continue to handle a bomb unsupervised. So she hands it to Marcus.
That's why Marcus is there.
Marcus, you hand it to him and he's like, I don't know what to do with it. What do you want me to do with it?
Put it back.
Fuck, I'm putting it back in the box.
Sees Kaya casually chatting, tossing it up in the air a little bit, catching it. Very
Yeah, she's
casual about holding this.
just like, okay, the nerds deserve their moment. The nerds have their moment every other day. I will let them talk and talk and talk for a second as Marcus puts the bombs back in the box. And then she will, like, pat the space beside her, like, don't sit on the bomb box again.
You pat the space next to you and he just goes, yeah, you don't have to tell me twice. What's this? And he reaches in that little compartment and pulls out what looks to be like a domed, like, it looks like it's about the size of a pill bottle. And it is like a pill shape, sort of. But it is not obvious about what it is. It has a spiral fluted structure and shape to it. Lockhart, you can see it from across the room. You saw that firing out of the end of JJ's gun. Had it not been for the sheer volume of adrenaline coursing through your body, you would not have been able to pick up on any details as it was going so fast. But you recognize that just from like the flashes you get from your mind of seeing it half a second before it bored into the side of one of those robots.
So you've made the slugs as well then.
That I did. Did you find those in there? Yeah, you did. So those are a special design of armor shredding rounds that I made for easy home grown shotgun stuff. You know, like a pump action. Pretty common 12 gauge slug, just fluted with a round to it so that when it hits, it will spin and peel the armor off and away from the sensitive areas. And then you rack another round, and then you put them down.
They went very well versus the K4 units.
Do what?
They worked really well versus the K4 units.
She does like a fist pump and just goes, yes! I never actually tested them out myself because, well, I don't know where I'm going to go find a K4 unit except in a dangerous place where, I mean, I don't want to go head first into a fucking Tetsuo compound without like planning a bunch of shit first. But I'm glad that JJ got some use out of them.
Well, I mean, if you wanted to test it, the K4 unit's outer shell is approximately like equivalent to like, I'd say about 8 to 9 stacks of extruded aluminum stacked on top of each other. Probably more like 8, I'm gonna be honest.
Do you know someone
Well-
who would have some of that stuff lying around? At least in a big enough sheet that I could probably shape it around and start shooting it at stuff? Kaya,
Uh,
you know for a fact Rat has sheets of it.
Yeah.
Do you want
yeah.
to introduce those two? That is how you get fucking
Chaos. Oh no! Oh no!
that is how you get Rocket Dog.
Rocket Dog already exists.
This is Rocket Dog with teeth.
Kaya just like, well, yeah, obviously.
And Legacy will just
Calamity
like hold up a hand, pause the nerd talk for a second. Kaya, you got a good view of Red. What would you judge that armor?
Joe.
So, I don't know enough technobabble to convincingly say something appropriate sounding, but you would know that whatever Red is plated with is probably more dense than like that the metal the shielding that is on a K4 unit. Even though K4 units are heavier, Red has more mass to him, to the point where when Red runs on concrete, his feet sink into the concrete about a quarter inch. So the plating would be much more heavy and dense. You could spitball some ideas, but nothing immediately comes to mind. You just know that it would have to be very, very thick armored plating, something probably military grade.
So, comparing the K4 units, if we're going with the structure of Kaya just spitballing that they're like 8 to 9 sheets of aluminum stacked, would Red be like double that? Or 1.5 that? 3
Somewhere,
times that?
I would say somewhere between like 2.5 times that.
Okay.
Also,
Try to kind of. Sorry, Ed.
I was going back to something too. Legacy knows that there are fiber muscles that have been woven and reinforced with steel objects.
She does have the basics of the
Internals.
internals, but I imagine that the armor plating itself is an external mod that would not have come in that info dump she grabbed.
Yeah,
you
I
would
got to see it.
Yeah, and it's not like it's not actually modded. The armor itself is not modded in any way. It is just simply straight metallic surface.
Hmm.
And yeah, from judging from what you've seen, Kaya, just spitballing it by visuals without having like an actual way to test it.
I mean, she saw Lockhart shred it.
That's true. That's true. You would estimate probably 2 to 2.5 times, maybe 3 times the thickness and or density of what you are aware of on a K4 unit,
Okay.
which is
So
a
is it-
wide range, but you know at a minimum it's going to be at least double.
Mhm. So, guys, like, lets out like a hum when she like thinks. It's like, I mean, what's saying like a K4 unit is like 8 to 9 sheets of metal stacked, probably like condensed to like an inch. Red's got like 2 to 3 times that shit, also condensed to an inch.
Legacy just kind of slowly nods. She's
Yeah.
turned to, like, she's not looking at Kaya anymore. As soon as Kaya started talking, her like gaze drifted back to the bullet. So what I'm hearing is that you have a flair for weapon building, Calamity.
She shrugs in this like "oops, you caught me" kind of way, and says like, "They don't call me Calamity for nothing."
How would you like a challenge?
Oh, I live to win. What's the challenge?
Legacy will just kind of like glance at Marcus, Lockhart, and Kaya for like confirmation. Just kind of. So she's already been kind of chastised for like dumping a whole bunch of shit on Sprite without talking to people.
We were already this far in.
And I don't.
Nod.
I also don't know. Above table, like, is Lockhart wanting to deal with Red?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. And so Legacy will just kind of tilt her head, and she starts typing on her arm for a second, pulling up like a little screen, and will kind of pull up a like. I imagine that there is some video feed, security feed somewhere of Red. Maybe not in the middle of the chase because the feeds were shut down. But like that, pull up that of Red, and then the information that they have gathered from Red. And just like hold out her hand with this holographic screen towards Calamity. Thus far, aside from just going up against the big bad wolf that is Tetsuo, the most physically dangerous that we've had to come across is that thing. There's like the
She
scrolling
looks at
list
it.
of the like augments and mods and cybernetics and shit.
It's also
Ooh.
so well built that rather than its leg coming off, it tore a bit of the station when it was magnetized to it.
Hoo-wee. Who the fuck built you? I mean, yeah, Tetsuo's got some really good stuff, but this is a whole different ballgame.
I'm willing to bet that this is something that they've been working on for a very long time, given what we know about the brain and nervous system that's still at the core of it, but this thing is stronger than anything I've seen. I'm pretty damn fast, and it kept pace. If it wasn't for fancy footwork, it would have caught up. Tore up the station. Made landings and hits that it should not have. If I'm lucky, I might be able to hack some of it. And I don't say I have to be lucky to get into things very often. And the physical side of things, and she looks towards Lockhart. Well, I've seen that woman do indescribable things to metal before, and it still was a bit much.
When I fought the thing, I had to be on the defensive rather than the attack. On the attack.
And it fucked you up pretty good, if you don't mind me saying. I don't think you could have lasted on the defensive for very long.
No, probably not.
At least not without backup. Marcus says, feeling a little confident. So this is one bad motherfucker, isn't it? And you said it's like coated head to toe in some probably inch thick worth of twice as much plating as one of those K4 units? Turning to look at Kaya.
Can you repeat the question? I missed it.
Like, Calamity's like, and you said that it's coated in probably twice as much armor as a K4 unit?
If we're lucky, could also be 3 times as much. And it's like
Holy
denser,
shit.
making it more maneuverable.
And it kept up with you? How fast are you? And from behind, Sprite just goes, fast. She's fast.
And
I don't have lungs, and I can't keep up with her.
Lacey kind of smirks and just shrugs. I can beat a car on occasion.
Whew. Calamity, like, looks over to Marcus and just goes, you don't last long, do you? Can we not? We are so far into a serious discussion about something. Why? Why now? And she just waves her hand and just goes, I'm just fucking with you, Boy Scout.
Legacy just smirks slightly, kind of like laughs, and looks over at Marcus and back at Calamity. You should see what he does to fire ant armor.
What do you do to fire ant armor? I mean, like the fire ants, the Tetsuo, like, private security guys? They're, I mean, it's not a huge thing, but, well, I made the design for the cybernetics that I'm using, and he holds up his arms, and the actual woven threads here that kind of build the arm structures, they act like a kind of compounding muscle structure, and you can kind of pull and lift a lot more than what is typically capable. Theoretically, I built them or designed them to be used for construction workers so that they're lighter weight and able to kind of lift and carry and push and pull more, but they didn't kind of go through design, and just, like, Calamity just cuts them off and just does the hand over hand thing, just like, get to the thing with the armor. What did you do to the armor? I ripped it off.
Apart.
Calamity looks up to Legacy and then looks over to Marcus and takes a step close and just grabs his arm and will look at it, and he's like, okay, well, yeah, and you can see the threads and
those are the upgraded versions. We don't even know what those do yet.
in theory they should be able to do 10 times as much. I've actually been working on a bit of software that I mean, I haven't used it yet, and he looks over to Lockhart, but I was kind of excited to try it out. It's kind of like, well, I call it like the coiling snake, coiling snake. Calamity is like looks up. That is a weird name for someone who wants to avoid certain subjects. Anyway, and just holds his arm out, and he's just kind of letting her move his arm. He's like, this is a really unique piece of tech. I don't know much about cybernetics, but this is pretty cool. Thanks. A sprite from across the room just goes, shit, he's like looking like an Asian Superman or some shit, huh? You are one lucky bitch, pointing to Legacy.
Legacy has a weirdly satisfied smirk on her face at that.
Which one, Superman again?
And facepalm.
Sprite in sync with Legacy face palms. Calamity turns around and just goes like, even I know Superman. I'm not even that nerdy, to be honest.
Legacy just like shakes her head. Oh, Kaya is many, many things, but is not versed in popular culture in the slightest. So, references will just fly past her. Minecraft does not count, Kaya.
I mean, I've also seen, the one movie. And didn't Getty show us, like, one of the Space War movies?
The fact that you can't even name it correctly and you don't know which one it is shows how much you remember of it.
Well, I mean, yeah, I remember it, but, like, I was,
not
soldering
paying
at the
attention.
time. I was half paying attention. I was trying to. I was also, multitasking.
And
And I was,
Legacy just like shakes her head and looks over to Lockhart. You don't talk much, but please tell me you know who Superman is.
Yes, I do.
See? The antisocial one even knows.
what? Locke's not, like, all that antisocial, to be honest. Like,
Legacy just gives you
No.
that bitch please expression.
she's not that bad.
Just because you have managed to somehow figure out how to melt the ice a tiny bit does not change the fact that that woman has not moved from her position except to reach out to take a bomb.
You, like, as you gesture and point to Lockhart, you feel very gingerly 2 fingers touch the side of your arm. Not your wounded arm, but Sprite has one hand, or one arm propped up, her elbow supporting her weight, and the other arm, like, doing a... Like, the thing where you use 2 fingers to make, like, a little man?
Like the walk.
Yeah. Sprite is literally doing the 2-finger little man walk up your arm.
Lockhart was paying attention to Legacy, but feels that, turns and looks Sprite dead in the eye and raises an eyebrow.
You look Sprite dead in the eye, and then Sprite looks you dead in the eye and just goes, fancy meeting you here.
God!
Lacey just sighs. She has given up on protecting Lockhart from Sprite, but will just very slowly, Lockhart, for the love of all that is good and holy and all the gods that exist in the universe for everybody, please at least do not
Go on a
break
date
her.
with me.
No, don't break them. Like, I would like to have a friend in mostly One Piece.
Look. So she was looking at Sprite. She turns, she shrugs her shoulder a bit, to knock the hand off, and looks to Legacy. I'll keep that in mind.
You shrug the hand off, and immediately Sprite like recovers by doing the brushing her the hair back from her head, just like no problem.
Speaking of Locke, you have been standing there. Are you sure you don't want to like sit down over here or something?
One sec.
And Legacy will try to like wave her hand to regain Calamity's attention towards Red while that is going on.
Calamity, like, is very much enjoying the teasing of this like stoic British intense person, and then turns around and just is like, huh? Oh, right. We're doing a thing? Yeah, challenge, blah blah blah, double the thickness, twice the speed, quadruple the strength. And you want me to blow him up, or you want me to just wound him? You're not trying to like kidnap him or something, or put him in handcuffs or whatever.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, Iris. I thought you like had to go do something when you said 1 sec.
No, I was rolling. It's fine. Don't worry. Go ahead. It's not important.
Oh, you
No, do your-
finished yours.
What is it?
Oh, it's not. Just gonna say she looks more tired than when she walked in. So, but she sticks to where she's standing, but you know, the quote unquote friends can tell she's not 100% right now.
So here's a question. Is Lockhart trying to mask how she feels at all?
Yes.
Okay, roll me a cool check.
Oh fuck.
You can't be strong and fast and good at lying.
If you're trying to mask how you feel, you've got someone in the room whose high stats are cool and tough.
So you said cool, right? So it's not cool defense, it's just the cool check.
Correct, it is a cool check.
Damn. Okay. That is better than I was expecting.
That is at least average.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna roll for Sprite. Sprite rolled average. So like you're trying to mask Lockhart, the little bit of exhaustion that has started to set in. And Sprite, you can see that they're looking right at you. And all of the vigorous flirtatious energy that has been just radiating off of them dies for a minute. And there's a very soft, genuine smile. And Sprite, like, in a very small gesture, leans a bit back and pulls their feet up a little bit, kind of clearing the way for you to walk to the bed. And the implication is, like, if you go over there, I won't bother you anymore.
Mm,
Do you admit defeat?
yeah. Lockhart has to limits, sadly. She'll head over there.
As soon as you sit down, Larry floats to sit in between you and Kaya and, like, plops onto the bed.
Lockhart would put a hand on. Oh no, she can't because that's her good one. So she'll put her hand on Larry and pat him.
Kaya, smile. Happy. Lockhart is sitting. She's getting semi-rest.
Probably leaning against the wall a bit, you know, like sitting at the top of the bed.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Then Cal turns around and is, like, refocused in on Red.
Well, Lacey just kind of like tilts her head mean, any and all of the above is probably a good thing. I think it depends. You seem to know what you're doing with this shit, but, this bitch is a little terrifying. So
Oh, he
you'll
looks like a nasty one.
you'll forgive me if I don't know exactly what you're going to be able to do. But, if you're willing to throw your talents against something, imagine this is just about the best opponent and biggest challenge you got on this station right now. Well, aside from the aliens, but we don't know what happens with those if we piss them off. So that's a down the road problem.
Well, they definitely don't like intense heat, and I
At
know
least
where we can
one
get some of that.
doesn't like intense heat. We don't know what the others don't like yet.
I've yet to meet something that likes pipe bombs.
That's fair. But pipe bombs also need to be very targeted when we are on a space station.
Trust me, I've blown up enough stuff on this station already. I am a professional, like a surgeon, with a scalpel. I make perfectly balanced explosions. And right as she begins to start the next thought, you all can hear this without any issue. You hear what sounds like a like a door being slammed in. And there is kicking the door in the way that Sprite kicked the door in, and then there is this. This is a door getting kicked way the fuck in. As you hear that kicking, you hear from, like, immediately following it, shouting of just like, all right, where's the bitch? Where's that bitch in the fucking suit?
Kai immediately turns to Lockhart and points like, don't fucking move. Don't you dare get up. Keep your ass on the fucking seat.
Legacy
Walker
is
had
going
already
to.
stood up.
Nope, no.
Legacy is immediately going to kind of hop off and just kind of look at Calamity, look at Sprite. I'm assuming that's not somebody that's a regular here.
Both Calamity and Sprite, like, they look at each other and they look at the door and they both immediately shake their hands, just like, no, this is trouble.
Legacy's gonna, because Legacy is definitely not a woman in a suit. Just gonna crack that door open and peek out.
So, you peek out and you see a filled doorway of a bunch of rough-looking punks and gang members who are all wearing different shades of green and yellow and neon colors.
Terabytes.
And you,
Let's do this.
yep, you immediately recognize these guys are Terabyte.
It's like Legacy cracks the door open. There's like half of like her face peeking out. She blinks once, blinks twice, closes the door. Just kind of stands there for a second. I fucking hate those guys. Kaya, Lockhart, your old friends are here.
The
It's
fucking
for you.
crayon shit.
Uh-huh. And a lot of them.
Hold the fuck on, Lock. Where the fuck do you think you're going?
Lockhart has taken off her sleeve.
No,
and thrown
put
it
that
on the
shit.
bed.
Lockhart, I swear to fucking God. Put that shit right back. You just got into a fucking fight. Your arm's in a sling for a fucking reason.
I'm not going to lose. I can't reach this outside.
Wait. Hold on.
Wait,
Hold
what'd
on.
you
She said she's not gonna lose.
say? Okay.
No, she said I can at least take this outside.
Oh.
Kind of thing.
It's like, so Legacy just like holds her hands up and kind of it's like does a wait 1 second gesture with a finger. You, I'm sure, can take them on. However, and she looks towards Sprite, and I'm assuming Sprite is immediately like, fun time.
Sprite has like, hearing that it's the Terabytes. The Terabytes aren't a super well-known gang, but they are an Adams Ward gang, so they have at least a little bit of brand recognition. Sprite hears that and then hears the noise and is just like, oh, and there is a very like devilish look, like
Feral.
this cruel grin on her face. And she like rolls her neck to one side, and you can hear the pop as she turns her neck. And she's like, oh, I absolutely want to pick a fight. And it's a good opportunity to show off. And she looks at Lockhart.
Legacy nods, takes a step from the door, and will like grab Marcus's arm, gesture towards Sprite. Okay. Thing 1 and thing 2, you're on deck.
Marcus has a look of like very resolute focus. This is contrary to his flabbergastedness at all of the sexual innuendos that have happened at him over this evening. He has a very, very steely look to his eyes, and just like nods as you kind of gesture for him and pull him up to the threshold. He just goes, okay, I've been training for this. I can do this. And he looks over to Sprite. We can do this. He's like, yeah, don't get so uptight about it. This will be a good way to bond, though.
And she'll just like look over her shoulder at Lockhart. And you can pick off the ones that try to run away from him.
If it gets too hard of hand, I'll deal with it then.
Right, but let them get a good shot at it first, so that you don't injure yourself even more. Like, at least leave the sling on until you jump in. Like, 2 seconds, like, doesn't fucking matter with someone like you.
Oh, and also, to be completely honest, leaving the sling on with those dumbasses will completely throw them for the loop.
Yes, but it also shows a very straightforward weakness.
Then don't let them near you. Look, if they get near you, I'll be there, and then you got the 2 seconds to take off your sling so that you can punch them. But let them do the shit first. Please. Like, really, please.
Sprite takes a step up next to Lockhart, or not Lockhart, step up next to Marcus, and Marcus like looks her in the eye, and gives her this very affirming, like, very clearly in his head, Marcus is starting to picture this as like a high intensity moment. So his face is very, very solemn. Just gives her one firm nod, and it's like she just tilts her head a little bit and just goes, dude, are you not used to fighting at this point? Because it's kind of just like a rowdy time. This is a fight bar. That's just what happens here. We can hold hands to get there. And she like reaches down and grabs his hand. It's like, what? This is serious. It's like, no, it's really not. But I'll treat it seriously if it makes you feel, strong and cool.
Sprite,
What?
don't be a bitch.
She pouts.
Don't
Fine.
pout at me. You have what, like 10 dudes out there that you're about to go fight? You're gonna have a good time. Go.
If I walk out of this without a bloody nose, I am going to be so disappointed. Marcus just turns to look at you, Legacy, like, is she for real?
And Legacy just like looks up at him and shrugs. I pick my friends well. I start fights that I can't handle, and then gestures towards Sprite. They finish the fights for me.
Oh boy. And this is where we're going to leave off for next session.
Oh boy.
Okay. While we are all gathered, all the people that
Uh-huh.
are part of this game,